Ooh, that was a horrible noise. Okay. I'm always dead on time with these streams. It's pretty good, Oliver. Welcome in. I think you're probably more prompt than I am. I'm pretty bad about getting it to start exactly at 11 o'clock. Welcome in. It is Friday. Grab the list for today. I think a few more people added some comments to the short, so let's make sure we grab those. So we're up to 22. Excuse me. We have 22 suggestions today. Should be pretty great. On that. Let's see if it's actually streaming. I guess there's no one in chat, so it doesn't matter. So I can't. In the Discord chat, so I can't test. Oh, there we go. We can actually get Discord to work today. Woo-hoo. Uh-oh. Now there's people in the Discord, but no one's talking. That's terrifying.
Hello?
Okay.
We're here.
Discord's working. We're good.
I'm just pulling myself together.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Elvin Hair, hello, hello. Seems good to see you all. Yes, yes, yes. It's 1900 for me in England. Right after dinner. Nice. Steamed hams. Streamed hams. Steamed hams. Pretty funny. That's what I should change the live stream to. Maybe if I like never stream on Picardo or something. Call it streamed hams. All right. Just beat a streamer on a free-to-play build in a game that stopped taking. And they stopped talking in chat. Seems like it would upset them. I think the new Zelda game comes out today. I'm super excited. I might go pick that up later.
Yeah.
That should be fun. Welcome in, everybody. It is Friday. We have a big list. I'm just going to start drawing a rugby to get warmed up as fast as possible. Welcome in.
Yeah, I haven't picked a mushroom to make into a myconid yet. I'm moving kind of slow this morning.
It's all right. My eye is doing something weird. It keeps going through phases of like collection and stuff. Like my vision got a lot better, but I had like this black floaty ring just kind of floating around in my eye. That has started dissolving, and now everything's blurry again. So it's like, great. Leaps and bounds. Leaps and spurts, I guess. What I should say. It's just like, it's getting better. Better. I hope.
Okay.
A bit of a weird headache, so I got one again finally. Gamma, welcome in. It's Friday. This is the viewer suggestion. It's Zelda Day. Or should I draw a Link rugby? Let's do that. I feel like I should try harder. I'm gonna draw a Link rugby. Not that I don't normally try, it's just like sometimes I get really lackadaisical. The cat's already here. Ooh, it was a horrible way to enter the stream. Well, maybe you've never been to a Twitch stream of ours. The OO is still my favorite, I think. Jonas one is really funny. OO. I was a very big Mega Man fan for a long time, but I think Zelda is still probably my favorite series.
Yeah, Zelda was my bread and butter. I do not know how many times I beat Ocarina of Time, but it is more than a double handful.
Definitely.
And, I think Majora's Mask is still my favorite in the series.
It's actually Majora's Mask. I've only ever played one time. We played it on stream because I couldn't play it when I had the 64.
Mm.
I think you needed the memory pack. Maybe not. I didn't own it. I didn't own Majora's Mask when it came out. So we eventually played it on the Tandem Gamers channel because we just had never played it, and it was good. It's a fine game.
It is admittedly kind of weird and dark.
Yeah. Which I think is okay. Like, there's a lot of weird darkness in the Zelda universe that kind of just gets glossed over, and that one kind of leaned into it, which I was totally fine with. But... Wait, what's going on here? Hold on a second. Do a Zelda rugby? Yeah. The streamer's still upset. They haven't spoken, and it's been like 5 minutes. Could have been worse. Could have oohed. Yeah. Favorite's Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is pretty good.
Right, yeah, Twilight Princess is pretty good.
Twilight Princess, I played when it came out on Switch. And then I decided to also play it on the GameCube right after. So, yeah, that one's up there. That one's up there. It's one of my favorites. I don't think I've beaten Skyward Sword. I think it's the only one I haven't beaten yet.
I have never touched a Legend of Zelda game.
Oh, you would
all.
love it. It is. I don't want to say family friendly because that's not the case, but it's like an accessible Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever wanted to play was I wanted to play Breath of the Wild because it looked cool and pretty.
So
oh, yeah. It's great.
As soon as it releases on the PlayStation, you're good to go.
Yeah, no. I have a Switch. I just don't have money.
Oh, that's fair. Maybe we can. I
No.
was gonna say we can
It's
set
fine.
up a
It's fine.
set up a GoFund Corvus to play Breath of the Wild. But then I was like, you'd probably want to do that for Final Fantasy. Who knows?
Yeah, right now I'm emotionally invested in the well-being of these NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let people enjoy their memes. Yep, that's fine. You guys can meme all you want. Just we have a dedicated spot for it. That's all.
Yep.
I have been Link for Halloween more times than I can count. Like, I'd have to sit down and actually like really think about it. I think the first time my mother made me a Link costume when I was like 5, 4 or 5, and then I made my own in college. I'm giving Rugby some buff legs today. Majora's Mask is a bit freaky. Yeah, it is. Metroid is my favorite classic game. Metroid is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I love a Metroidvania.
Hey, Rook, you got a heat warning? I don't think so. I hope not. My green beans will probably not survive a heat warning. I'll have to check. Funny enough, I've never been Link for any reason. You know, you gotta live the way you want to live, but I highly suggest it. Last session, nice.
I was never really into costumes, so I didn't. I've never.
You
like-
grew up in Utah.
Yep.
You had to participate in Halloween at school.
I did. I never had like pop culture reference costumes though.
Gotcha.
So I never went as Link for Halloween. Although I did, kind of when I got older, my younger brother started getting into costumes, and we built him a Fierce Deity Link costume. That was
Nice.
pretty fun.
One year I went for one as Wolverine. That was a really cool costume. My mom was a seamstress for a long time, so I had a leg up in the costume department. We were also pretty poor, so I don't think I ever bought a costume. I could never afford to buy a costume.
Yeah, same. I never bought a costume.
So I had to make them. But my mom was really good at it, so I got a lot from her. Almost 100 degrees, and we still have them the hottest point of the day. Oof! I'm putting ice in the water buckets out back for the neighbors' strays and ferals. Scary. Scary. Yeah, I hope they're all right. It's looking to be pretty nice today, so hopefully it'll stay not super intense. Sorry, there is a garbage truck outside my door. It's nice and cool this morning, so I have the windows open. We'll see what happens. Minish Cap was my favorite Zelda game for a long time. Minish Cap was really funny. I love the hat.
Minish Cap is really. That's one that I never actually played.
Super Robot Money Team Hyper Force Go. I don't know what that is. I've always had to make costumes or put something together on the cheap because poor life ring. Yep, I know that feeling.
I think the only costume piece I ever bought was a Scream mask.
One year when I was
on
very
sale.
young, I was a off-brand Transformer. My dad got some like generic robot mask. It might have been an Optimus Prime mask, but he got it from like a Goodwill, and it had like a voice changer in it. That was the best part of that costume. That was pretty funny. My sister got like a really creepy ass clown mask. I don't understand. That's the picture we have of me as a kid. My sister, just terrifying clown. Me as a Transformer, which is just basically me in like pajamas. Pretty great. All right. But yes, Legend of Zelda. I'm excited. I didn't pre-order it because I'm cheap, but I'm excited. I might go pick it up. Finished up submissions yesterday. I have a new one for next week, so I think it's time. I think it's game time. Plus Mother's Day this weekend. I hope everybody did something for their mother or mother surrogate. Or just women in your family that are meaningful.
Awesome and deserving of respect and recognition. Yeah.
That's it. Is there still weapon durability? I will be unable to partake of the tears of the kingdom. If there's still weapon durability. I think you can fuse weapons together now. Make your own weapons out of sticks and stuff. So I don't know about the durability, but... This is a Wendigo costume. Nice. Terrifying. My cat won't stop screaming, bro. Lying down on the bed, completely happy. What are you yelling at me? Yeah, I have that problem. Pixel will come around here and scream at me for something or another. Here in 20 minutes or so. You fed me a little bit ago, but I don't remember. Okay. I think that's a good rugby. We're gonna leave that one there. I do have a huge list for those of you who are just jumping in. We have a list curated list from the viewer suggestion community post and the YouTube short from Monday. So if you haven't suggested something from Monday, if you've suggested something from Monday to now, I have it. If you have not, you suggested something last week and you want to add something to the list, you can still do that in chat right now if you want it. Curated. Yeah, there's a few I had to parse out, but you know, you gotta follow the rules, people. Follow the rules. But we have 22. We have 22 suggestions left. So we're in for a good time today. We are in for a good time. I'm going to roll some dice. The dice will determine what we draw. And that's it. That's what we're going to do. That's how we do it. Them be the rules. This is an undead mushroom.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like it.
A death cap.
Death cap. Nice. 18. A Yonti Abomination Barbarian based on the Brush Viper with Beast Barbarian subclass from Tasha's. Nice. Wait, a what Viper?
Bush Viper?
Yep. Bush Viper. Ooh, spiky boy. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't drawn an abomination in a while. I'm excited. I really wanted to get a video out this week, and like, world just kicked me in the face. But I got my workout done today, so that's nice. So.
That is nice. Yeah, I haven't got mine in yet, but I do plan on it.
Last night we were playing Final Fantasy, and I just got hit with a wave of tiredness, and I was like, man, I gotta call it. And I started like getting up and getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, why am I so tired? Why do my arms hurt? And I was like, oh yeah, because I actually worked out today. I had that like moment of like full body fatigue, and I was like, I haven't felt like that in a long time. It's good. It's good. It's just
Because I've been pressuring you into taking better care of yourself.
I need to, yeah. Can I add a suggestion for an in case you run low or out of slots for drawing sessions? I mean, I don't think we're gonna get through 22 drawings today. We might. If burning shows up, we might. But
yeah, it's possible, but not likely. I, on average, get through. I do 3 drawings, and one of those is usually my warm up. So
I can usually get about 5 or 6. So if you haven't suggested anything yet, you're welcome to. Or if you want to post in the Discord, we have a viewer suggestion location where people can just say, hey, I had this cool idea if anybody ever wants to draw it. That is for people to take those suggestions and draw them.
yeah, every once in a while, I'll also like ask for suggestions in there to give me some inspiration on my practice.
Always welcome to post those. Do that. It's like when you eat a piece of cake when you're scrolling on your phone, get distracted, and then forget to enjoy the cake. You gave me a few minutes ago, but I can't remember. Yeah, that's fair. That definitely sounds like Pixel. Recognizing how your body massively affects your mood is beyond important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pendulette did a little interview that I rewatched the other day because my friend was asking about it, talking about weight loss, and his kind of mentality for it. And he said that he was embarrassed about how much he realized that he's kinder now that he's lost most of his weight. But I mean, like, he was trying to get down to a target weight. He's a huge dude, so weight is kind of whatever. But like, he went through this whole process, and he's like, I'm kinder now, and that's really embarrassing. And it really was because he was just basically uncomfortable and not feeling great all the time. And it's like, I feel that because now that I'm like I'm not augmenting my shitty lifestyle with like so much caffeine, I realize that I'm calmer and I'm less edgy all the time. It's just like, I'm probably nicer to people. I'm probably more able to deal with the shittiness of the day. So it's weird. Yeah, your health and your outlook on life and your body can really affect all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I have discovered that, like, I've got some stomach issues, for sure, that I complain about on here constantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm exercising, like, the appropriate amount, for my body and my health conditions, my stomach works. And just by virtue of me actually being able to digest my food and eat as often as I'm supposed to, I have way less anxiety because I'm not constantly starving to death. And like, that was kind of a weird realization to be like, oh, yeah.
Something else
when
I
things
noticed.
function, when things function, you're psychologically better
Yeah.
off always.
I've had a slowly like worsening cheese allergy, like lactose intolerance, over the last couple of years. And then what I discovered is as now I can handle it now. Like I can eat cheese and I get slight discomfort, but it doesn't like just floor me anymore because I think my body is actually like I'm not overdosing myself with salt. My body is actually functioning. My kidneys are happier. And so it's like my body can deal with a little bit of discomfort from the cheese, whereas before it was like it sucked. Like I couldn't function. Like I would get feverish and just feel sick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oof. Big weird stuff. So yeah. The more you take care of yourself, the better off. And a lot of my stuff, like it's not weight gain or anything, or weight loss. I'm not trying to like promote like, oh, everyone should be thinner. It's like I was just not taking care of my body, period. Like my food, the food that I was eating was not healthy for me specifically because of underlying conditions. And so changing my diet in a way that was healthier now, I am losing a little bit of weight, but it's just I think my body is now processing things better. So really good.
Yeah.
I had a good conversation about my doctor with it, so really good. My eye is still, shit, but hopefully that's still on the mend. So, and that was the big turning point for me of like, do you drink more water now that you're off caffeine? I'm actually still bad about that. I'm trying really hard to drink more water.
That's one thing that I've always been pretty good about, and I'm thankful for.
Doctor says you got to think about the gauge of too much BS to break down and more other stuff. You mitigate the more the junk you want can be processed. Yeah, and that was kind of the cool thing, like because it used to be if I ever ate at McDonald's, like 30 minutes later, I would just feel like I have the flu. Like I would just feel sweaty and awful and shitty and gross. And the other day we were driving and it's just like I just need food, so I grabbed a burger and I was like I feel totally fine. Like it turns out when you're not constantly at a level of about death, you can handle some bad things sometimes, and that's amazing. So
yeah
I can enjoy the things that I want to enjoy more and not worry about them possibly killing me.
I unfortunately am not to that point yet.
After I eat fast food, my blood feels like motor oil. Yeah, that's kind of what my problem was. My blood pressure is now in a safe range, which is great. I don't know if people care about my health stuff, but I can talk about it. I don't care about it. I've made this viper look very cute. I've realized now that vipers have very short faces, and they're kind of adorable.
Oh yeah,
I'm here for death.
There's a reason people call them danger noodles. It's because they're highly deadly and also adorable.
Speaking of highly deadly and adorable, did you meet Alice yet, Corvus? I guess you haven't quite met Estinian yet, so there's a bit of a...
Who?
What?
What?
Have
Sorry,
you met,
I was...
Have you met
not been paying
Estinian or
attention.
Alice yet?
I have met Alce and I've met Estinian.
Okay. Those are my two favorite characters in that game. I initially hated Estinian, but only because I was jealous that he looked better in the Dragoon armor than I did. Why not me? Why not me?
Why can't I be sexy?
Yep. My dog even
Because you're
refuses
not
to
an
do that.
elf.
I used to eat McDonald's all the time when I was younger because I worked right next to a McDonald's, and it was just like that was when I could get lunch. I could walk across the street and get lunch. And then one time, I stopped eating McDonald's for a little while just because I stopped working at that place. And it was maybe 6 months to a year. And I cleaned out my truck and I found some McDonald's fries in my truck. And I was like, oh, I haven't eaten there in a while. And they looked completely fine. And I was just like, And then I didn't eat McDonald's for like years after that. I was terrified.
Yeah, that's a little bit nerve-wracking.
A little scary and cute. I may be adopting an alligator. Nice. Be careful. They get big. I'm not rich enough to eat fast food. Ironic. Yeah, that is ironic. Because like when I was growing up specifically, someone was just talking about this online. Someone was just trash talking McDonald's because McDonald's used to be the cheapest thing to get. Like, that was part of the reason. The job I had was not great, and I could go over there and get a meal for like $2. I could get a hamburger and a drink, or a hamburger and fries and have a drink at my work for like $2 or $3. That was the cheapest you can get. Like, you just can't get that anymore. And now they're getting rid of their value meal and stuff, and it's like, McDonald's, you're losing sales not because they forgot their place. They forgot that they were supposed to be the cheap alternative, and now they're trying to like charge regular prices for a hamburger. It's like, that's not how this works. If McDonald's costs the exact same as anything else, people are gonna go to the anything else every time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
McDonald's uses Elmer's glue and yellow food coloring to make their cheese. I love American cheese. I love American cheese. I cannot eat it anymore. It's expensive trash. Yeah. The Big Macs, Big Macs used to be good. They still are. They still taste delicious, but it's just crappy meat and mayo. That's really all it is.
Yeah. The special sauce it's what, like minced onions that have been half dried, mixed with basically fry sauce.
Yep, just mayo and ketchup.
About Thousand Island dressing, people.
Pretty close. Pretty close. Thousand Island dressing, I think, is chili? Chili sauce?
Chili sauce, really?
Mm-hmm. I used to have to make it.
Interesting. I thought it was just ketchup, mayo, a little bit of like malt vinegar, and paprika, or maybe it wasn't paprika. Maybe it was some sort of.
You're right. Nope, I'm thinking our
red
burger
something.
sauce. Our burger sauce was chili sauce.
Okay.
That
does sound good.
What did we use to make our Thousand Island? I'm gonna look it up. This is important to me.
Mustard, vinegar, sometimes chili sauce or ketchup.
Sweet pickle relish. Yep. Okay. Mayo, onions. Yep. Minced onions. Sweet pickle relish, lemon juice, paprika, kosher salt, ketchup. Ketchup is the main ingredient, though. Yeah. So you do want to add some kind of sweetness to it. So you could use the sweet chili sauce. These guys are using sweet pickle relish. Yeah. Needs a little bit of sugar. I love salty plastic sauce. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Personally, if I'm gonna go pay $14 for fast food meals for McDonald's or Burger King, I'm just gonna go to the local burger place. Yeah, exactly. Like that's McDonald's problem right now. Like they're having issues about, like, we can't pay people more because people aren't buying our food anymore. It's like, it's because you're charging too much. Like, you used to be able to get 2 Big Macs for $5. Oh, that was a deal. I would do that. Days at a time. Really, they've gotten a little better because they stopped using motor oil to cook their fries, which is nice.
The motor oil tastes so good.
It does. But no, at the end of the day, like, it's actually not bad food. It just, you need to be really careful about it because it's super high in salt, super high in fat. So if you have it as a mainstay of your diet, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah. Especially because it's kind of also low in vitamins and fiber, because like because they ship everything frozen, they have to remove the fiber from everything, because if you don't take fiber out of frozen stuff, it turns to mush when you thaw it. And it loses vitamins just because it's all oxidized, which is why the meat is like gray. It's not that it's bad meat, it's just that it's old and basically freeze-dried.
Freeze-dried food. Tastes delicious.
It super is.
I can get a full breakfast for $4. Are you kidding me? I want that.
What?
Sorry, Oliver's.
But that's €4.
That's right. That's still like $6 to $8, right? So it's probably the same. All right, you said 6?
4.
4. A lizard folk looking very cool and cute lizard who's an avid anthropologist.
Anthropologist lizard. Okay.
Wisdom
Cute
6.
and cool
This is a
lizard.
very long, not one sentence. Hold on a second. This is like 5 sentences. They love cosplaying as humans.
I can't do that. You can have me draw a human, or you can have me draw a cute lizard.
So I think I'm gonna parse out what this is saying. I think it's a cute lizard dressed as a like wearing a skirt, I think was the idea. Like
Okay.
a cutesy lizard anthropologist. I can't read part of the sentence because it's so long that it actually like it cuts off the text. I'm trying really hard to make the screen function so I can read it.
Also, quick small correction. That's not euros, that's pounds.
Is that pounds?
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Does the euro exist anymore? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yes. Gee, I
UK
hope that
just
person.
left it.
I hope that person that I mixed up euros and pounds wasn't a Brexiter.
Cheaper than McDonald's and more than McDonald's. Got it. My family uses a lot of post-World War II recipes, usually cheap and healthier. Yeah, maybe.
See, in America, all the post-World War II recipes are like casseroles based on Campbell's canned soup,
Yeah,
which is
not
less
great.
healthy.
Yeah, I have to stay away from those. those are the things that will kill me. Every doctor I've talked to has been like, "Do not eat canned soups." And I was like, "Got it, thank you."
So stay away from the Midwest.
Yeah,
Specifically Wisconsin and
Yes.
Missouri. Not Missouri, but Minnesota.
debatable. A lot of those recipes don't really count for proper nutritional values. Yeah, that is. 4 quids is roughly £7.50 after exchange rates. Okay, yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Terrible.
Brown. If people would like to donate money today, I will buy people. I'm going to the store later. I'll get some copies of Breath of the Wild. It would be cheaper just to I do want to find a way to pay you guys. For all you do with the shit. Step 1, find a way to get a retirement fund. That's my first step. Step 2, pay everybody that helps me on the channel.
Yeah. Take care of yourself first.
Oh boy. And you start doing furry art. That's what I'll pay for all this.
One way to do it.
One way to do it. Or drawing beefy snack boys, might as well. Get some clientele I can hook you up with. I might have to post something. Ask you shall receive. Thank you, Elvin. We're halfway there. Actually, I don't know. It's probably $60, so I have to. I'm gonna go get it today. Don't think you have to give me money. I'm gonna go buy that game. Is Jumper up on the call? Maybe she is. Maybe she's not.
No.
It's one of those secret, not secrets. Grab it. At Bionic True Bunny Chick.
So I feel like I already know this answer, but I need to ask just for my own mental clarity.
Sure.
We're not playing Pathfinder tomorrow, correct, Druid?
I'm not 100% sure. I had planned on it, but I haven't got the preparation done that I was hoping to.
Okay. Well, I assumed we wasn't because I figured we were just going to be taking off like every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of what
yeah.
I figured too. I might have people coming over tomorrow, so.
Okay.
I don't know for sure though, so if you guys want to hang out in the morning, I'll be around.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will.
finished-
Yeah.
go
After
ahead.
this, I will do some preparation and see what I think I can get done, and when I figure that out, I'll post a message and see what people are feeling.
Out of curiosity, have any of you heard of the town called Luton in England? That sounds familiar, but I mean, like
Luton?
Luton? It could be Luton. That's
I don't know.
Don't you already do furry art? That's something I've had a lot of people ask me, like, many times. Like, wait, I thought you were a furry artist. And it's like, not specifically. But, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I like drawing pinups. So maybe I am. Because all of my pinup girls are, like, weird bird people. But not bird people.
They're sexy ladies, voluptuous ladies in bird masks.
Yeah. So I'm a tangential furry artist, I guess. That's an interesting question. Are you a furry artist if you draw people in furry costumes versus just animal people?
I don't know.
Does that count?
Ask your furry friends.
Yeah, I guess so. It's been rated the worst town in England for years, so that's a bummer. Why does this Yanti look like he would perform a mean puppet show? If your hands are faces and you just have to put, like, if they put a mask on it, is it a puppet show or is it like a kabuki?
Wait, what? Sorry.
If your hands are faces, as the abominations are they puppets if they wear masks? Or are they, like, kabuki actors?
Not really, because kabuki doesn't wear masks.
Oh, I thought kabuki was all about the big, weird mask stuff. I guess I'm thinking of, like, the Tengu masks, is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so those will be N-O-H. Those are the ones that wear masks. Kabuki is just shit face paint.
Okay. Do hand snakes talk? I have several questions. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think they're sentient. They're not sentient snakes. They're just... Their hands are also snakes. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. What have we done? This is not my creation. This is a thing that exists already. But, yeah. We've opened a Pandora's box of weird snakos.
We've got our Yanti turned around.
What do you mean?
The abominations aren't the ones with the snake hands.
What? Those are monstrosities.
Yep.
God, what's the abomination then?
It's just like a humanoid snake with like a snake lower half and arms. So like how you did your Yanti art for your video would be an abomination.
Well, this one's got snake puppets then. We're going to go with snake puppets.
It's fine. We'll roll with it.
Seems legit.
Because I was like, if abominations are meant to be like mindless, then sure.
Then it would make sense that they have 3 snake heads. That would totally make sense. Yeah. One snake brain not big enough to control that whole body. That's actually a funny thought that they're like, okay, we've made this snake man. Why aren't his arms moving? Oh no, snake brains don't know how arms work. Put more snakes on them. One brain for each wiggly part. Looks like King Hiss from the Masters of the Universe. Did King Hiss have snake arms? He did have snake arms. Oh shit. You're right. That's funny. Would the Wendy mascot be a bard? Why would she be a bard? They seem proficient with vicious mockery. Oh, because of all of the like flaming they do on the internet. I can see that. I think that just comes from growing up a redhead with pigtails.
Yeah,
and I know this from experience. Like, I think you just get that.
You were a redhead with pigtails?
At one point in time in my life. Alright, I'm gonna roll more dice. I think I'm done with this one. 4. A lizard folk. Oh wait, it's so weird that we keep doing that. We keep rolling the same numbers like back to back.
Yeah.
Last week
It is
we rolled
very
23 like 4 times.
Yeah.
14. Kobold Barbarian with a giant sword and alcohol. All right. Apparently we're just drawing reptiles today.
So, scaly artist, not furry artist.
Yeah, I guess. I do need more commissions. I'm almost done with my commission list. I had one cancel on me, which is fine. I totally respect them, and I want people to be happy and work out for the best for them. So, no hard feelings. I gotta fill that spot though. Commissions are open. Commissions are open for next week. I wonder. Ooh, that's kind of a fun idea. I should make like a coupon or something for the Patreon members and or the YouTube members. That would be fun. Do a super chat, get a discount.
So this was it, because I'm looking through Yanti art.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was from 4th edition. It was Yanti Anathema, and it's great.
Jeebus. That is really good. Yeah. It's just like it's like a rat king, but made out of snakes.
Oh damn!
Yep.
I like that a lot.
If you don't like snakes, don't look at it.
Masters of the Universe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, did he have snake? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Rattler was the one I was thinking about. I swear I have a. What do we have here? That has snake for arms.
I
That
vaguely
guy.
remember
The yellow guy. I'd have to go dig it up. I have a crap ton of He-Man action figures. Because my dad worked at a thrift store for a long time. So he would like bring home older stuff. So I have a whole set of like He-Man action figures with someone else's name written on the feet, which I always think is really funny. It's just like that was such a thing to do back in the day with your action figures. It's just like initial the bottom, but none of them have my name written on them. It's always fun. Now playing a small Anathema as a PC, that would be really fun. I think that would be cool. Hello, I'm a bundle of snakes. Just remember that's not a licensed Mattel ad. Yeah, I assumed as much. Did your dad ever be
was it like this?
I don't think so.
Rook?
Let me look. Yeah, that's the dude. His skin pops off. That's right.
Because that is King Hiss.
That is King Hiss? Okay.
His skin pops off.
His skin pops off. Yeah, it's a hard, rigid toy. And it's like, that's stupid. But then you pop, the whole torso like comes in half.
Mm.
And then the snake body's underneath it. It's pretty
Because
interesting.
I remember when they did the remake of it back in the 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
they had an arc where the snake people came back.
Ah.
And like in the intro, I remember the king, like his arms like split open and there were like snakes coming out. I was like, nightmare.
I can find it. I can
course.
find that action figure and take a picture of it if you want. It's pretty weird. The He-Man action figures are pretty weird, but I really loved action figures, so.
There was a
hysterical
lot
monster.
of. There was a surprising
Rival
amount of
competitor.
body horror involved in stuff
Oh, yeah.
aimed at little boys in the 90s.
Oh yeah. All right, let me catch up on chat here. That's still under the furry umbrella. Fair enough. Hey, it's my literal salamander waifu from Rift's campaign I'm in. The one that Druid's drawing, or the one the kobold, or the snake monster I did. It was an accidental arranged marriage. I think we talked about that in chat. I'm judging, but I'm not because not because of the lizard wife. I'm judging because you seem embarrassed by your lizard wife. That's funny. How risque can commissions get? Asking for a friend.
We do have a friend who does do that. So
That's true. Yep.
Look up Burning Palace in the Discord.
Safe and not safe for work commissions. I think. You can always ask. I think I'm if I ever did start doing that kind of stuff, I think I'd be kind of locked into pinups because I really like drawing pinups. Something about body poses. I like body poses. They're fun.
How the artist who did all the art for Lilo and Stitch got scouted by Disney.
Oh, probably. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, no wonder all the ladies in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. As an artist, do you prefer commissions which have a set but tight deadline, or which you can freely work on as when you choose until it's ready? I like tight deadlines, but I like to be able to set them. So essentially, like when people message me, I won't take more work than I think I can handle. And so usually what I'll do is I'll set people up and I'll say I'm going to try to do 2 commissions a week, 2 or 3 commissions a week. And so if I already have 3 commissions and someone tries to commission me, it's like, okay, I probably won't get to it here. But then I generally spend about the same amount of time for most of my commissions. Like that's how I price it out. I usually try to get somewhere between, depending on what the commission is, because sometimes like, oh, wings, it's like that's going to take me longer. But commissions usually take me about 10 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less. And so that's how I ration all that out. So if you give me a tight deadline, what I say is, I can get this much done. I can start next week, and then I'll probably have it done in 2 or 3 days. So I usually just don't tell people. I don't give them an end date. I give them a start date. Like I can usually start here. So I think that's a lot better because then I have the time to do it and I don't feel rushed to finish it. It's just like, when I'm going to start. I usually spend about this much time. So usually a day or 2. But I have people have been like, oh, you have a really fast turnaround. It's like, that's partially why. I don't want to spend a lot of time like working on backgrounds and stuff. So I don't work that into my prices because it's like, I'm going to give you a nice solid character. And that's what I know I can do. And I know about how long it takes me. So, I'm pretty comfortable with that. And that's why my prices are the way they are.
Yeah. That's also kind of like right now, that's the reason why I don't take commissions right now is because I am not consistent in any of my work.
Yeah. And like that's tough. And that's something you have to kind of work out when you want to do commission work because for the first maybe year or 2 when I was doing commissions, I was charging people like $50 or $60 and then I would spend 10 to 15 hours on something and it's like I'm making like $4 an hour doing this.
Yep.
And it's like I can't do that anymore. It's not feasible for me.
Yeah.
So
not a livable wage.
Yep. And as I've been working, I initially started getting really, really fast. And I was like, hey, I can bang these out a lot faster. And so it made more sense for my prices. But then all of a sudden I realized as I was doing that, I wanted to add more and I wanted the art to be better and I wanted to spend more time cleaning up the lines. And so it's like I can either spend more time on this and take a pay cut, or I can raise my prices with the assumption that I'm going to be spending more time on these. And so that's kind of how I figured out how my prices work and how much time I can spend on things. So I like the deadline because I'm able to know about how much time I can spend on things. And there are times when I'll get stuck on something or I'll have to start, like I've gotten like halfway through a commission and like, I hate this and start it over. So I do still have to like take that cut because I quote people like, I want to charge you this much. I'll probably spend 10 to 15 hours on it. And then all of a sudden I spend 20 hours on it. It's just like, that's my fault because I'm spending more time on it. So that's why I don't charge people by the hour because I think it's better that I know what one of my price pieces should be worth. And if I screw up, it's my bad. But also if I, bang it out really fast and I do a really good job and I'm happy with it and I save myself 2 hours, I'm not going to, paying by the knowing your hourly wage, but charging for a piece makes more sense because it is what it is. So that's why I do that. And it gives you a great constraint because you're like, it should be done about this time. And I can start judging when things will be done and I don't overload my workload. I still just being embarrassed. You guys have fun facts about yourselves for me. I collect old books. Ooh, let me think about that for a minute. Pinup is a huge market in the fandom. That's true. You know, I haven't done a lot of fan art related stuff. I could look into that. That might be good. I have old D&D books. Oh yeah, I love those old D&D books. Those are great. I have books from 1840s. That's exciting. I once waited a year to receive a commission, but it was affordable and I had very little money. So, yep. Nice. Yeah, I have a lot of people have have told me horror stories about waiting forever for commissions to come back. And like, I know some people like unrelated. Some people like Simply Georges and Smashly, who are great Twitch streamers, they spend like 30 to 40 hours on commissions. And because they're streaming, they're usually not doing that in like 1 week. So that's like 2 or 3 weeks just to get one piece out as a full solid piece. And it's like, ooh, boyo. Like I don't know how I would do that. That's not the way my style works, but I would love to try something like that someday. And so I could see if you get stuck on one piece like that, if you have any lined up, like that's, you know, weeks out before people can start seeing their stuff come back. So yeah, it's definitely weird.
So Centaurs and Minotaurs as player ancestries are coming to 2nd edition Pathfinder now.
Hell yeah, I kind of assumed they would. I mean, no, seriously, like for a long time,
I'm laughing at Corvus, and I'll explain why in just a second. But yeah, no, I agree. Hell yeah, I love it. Sorry, go ahead.
Pathfinder's Centaur race and the race builder was a huge deal back in the day. That was one thing that Hero Forge was really amped up about. They're like, oh, do you want to play a Centaur in D&D? Because you can only do it if you can play a Pathfinder, and you should use our system. And it's like, okay. So, yeah. That's going to be great.
It's coming in a book called
Where's Tim?
Howl of the Wild. And it's going to have 6 new ancestries. 2 of them are Centaurs. The other is Minotaurs.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. So the reason I was chuckling, maybe a little bit at your expense, Corvus, is I played D&D with in my normal group with Dagon last night, and we had a brief conversation when I told him that you had sent me a thing about the Mirage Dragon that's coming, which like if you guys haven't in the chat, if you haven't seen. 2nd edition Pathfinder is like doing more like arcane focused dragons, and they're very cool. Anyway, so he and I both simultaneously tried to make the same joke that one of these days we're going to find out that you work for either Paizo or Wizards or both, and like we've just been your playtesters all this time because you find information about games so fast and you share it so fast, and it is so much fun to be your friend because of that.
So the thing is, I'll be upfront. No, I don't. For either group.
A likely story.
I mean, I would love to. Not gonna lie. It's just I don't have much of a life, so I'm just like scrolling through Twitter and I follow both Wizards and Paizo because I work both sides of the argument.
There's actually
totally fair.
There's a fun job title for that, and it's either a curator or marketing, social media marketer. And that literally is your job, just to like look out and find shit on the internet and then somehow parse it so it's functional for everyone else at the company. It's like from the outside, it's the laziest looking job in the world. But people that do it well, like they spend a lot of time actually finding and disseminating information, and it's really useful. But from the outside, it's just like, what do you do all day? You just on Twitter? It's like, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it can be really good because, like, yeah, I miss a lot of stuff. I miss a lot of stuff because I don't spend time on Twitter.
Yeah.
The proper response to that inquiry would be, yeah, why? Would you go on that garbage platform for free?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
A couple of my friends are huge horror stories about commissions. Yeah, I've had a few. Do you guys want to be along for the ride from me calculating stuff for my level up? Level 6 OP Warlock? I guess so. Just don't go too crazy with it. Like, give us the highlights as you're going. I wanted a specific monster cat creature and getting a genetic cat boy. Oh, and getting a generic cat boy? Okay. I can see that. That's funny. Yeah, commissions are really fun, but they can be really hard. Like, it's a wild west of options.
Yeah. I know when I had you, when I commissioned you to do my first D&D character,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. It's like, I don't really know how to describe him because I only ever got to play him for such a short time, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah. There's some a few people I've talked to. I generally like to have more of a conversation about it so I can kind of dig into people's brains. But a handful of people have like, here, fill out this form about what you want your character to look like. And I've thought about doing that in the past, but yeah, like there's just a huge different. There's not one way to do it across the internet, right? Like everybody has a little bit of a different system for how they charge people. Because like I've had some people talk to me like, I paid this one guy up front and I paid this guy like half up front, and then I didn't hear from him for 6 months, and it's like, that sucks. Like I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like a lot of people just don't know how to
communicate what their character is supposed to be.
Communicate visually, like communicate visual information. Like that's something artists struggle with. So when people sit down, one of the commissions I was working on earlier, it was like, I need this, but it has to be this. And it's like, that last thing contradicts everything else you just told me.
Yeah.
Like I can't do all three of those things and this. So which one of those ideas is the most important? And that question is really jarring to people because they're just like, no, it's all those things. It's like, it's all those things in your head, but those things contradict each other visually. You can't show both of those things. Yeah. So in general, bad for my health. I stay off social media. Very good. Yeah.
What do you mean I can't see my character's amazing six-pack abs through the overcoat and cape and full plate armor and
They got this wicked tattoo on their face. And then their face mask looks like this. It's like, so they're not wearing the face mask? Oh, they're wearing the face mask. Okay, but I'm not showing the tattoo. It's like, can you do both? It's like, no. That's not how that works. You have to do that.
Not unless they have two heads.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're commissioning us for like a profile sheet.
The best one
where it has
profile sheet.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corvus, I interrupted your.
No, that's fine.
But it was a good comment. Some of my horror stories are really people being like, I would like X person. And it's like, sweet, yeah, so that's gonna cost $100. Let's do that. And they're like, cool. Also, they have a dragon. I'm like, okay. Do you want the dragon drawn? And they're like, I mean, yeah, maybe if you want to throw it in there. It's like $100 for the dragon. Like that's a whole other character. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's great. It's like, okay, cool. So we're doing the two character portrait. That's great. And then they will add on like also 15 swords. And it's like, what do you mean 15 swords? And they have a horse. It's like, hold on. Like you can't keep adding things after the fact.
Yeah. No. Also, why would you have a dragon and a horse? Unless the dragon isn't for riding.
What do you mean you're not riding the dragon?
Dragon rides you.
Oh dear.
Yeah, a lot of my that was one of the reasons I stopped using Fiverr too. Is Fiverr takes the money up front. And so people would just be like, I will do this and here are all the things I want. And it's like, that's not the tier you picked. Nope. Refund.
Denied.
So, denied. So I'm done with Fiverr.
Yeah.
It was good. I got a handful of people that became like, they started following the channel some people in this chat might actually. I'm not sure if it's one of them, but I did some really cool art for Fiverr, which made me happy, and it did meet some new people that are like have become YouTube members and stuff. But Fiverr as a company was, or as a business opportunity was not great. So, yeah, if you need to get a jump start, try to learn. It's a good way to do it. But that was the other terrifying thing, is it would always happen. I'd be winding down for the weekend, and then I would like forget to turn off the Fiverr, like out of town. And so at like 11:30 on a Friday night, it would be like, I need this done by Monday morning. And it's just like, God damn it.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Like I forget to turn
mistake.
the closed, the sign from open to close. It's just like,
I would make that mistake once, and then I would never return to Fiverr ever again. Nope, that's too big of a risk.
I wanted to make this kobold like a beefy boy. He went all out.
It is like, I mean, we've said this before, but it is really, really hard to make a kobold beefy without making them just look like a dragonborn or a lizard folk.
Swobold. We'll give him the Ganon sword. Why not?
Need something there for scale.
Just banana.
Same size banana.
It's a banana sword. Paid you fairly desperate the YouTube cut and the month delay, right? Despite the YouTube cut and the month. Yeah, no, yeah, you were fine, brother Malachi. That's totally fine. The month delay. Did we have a month? Oh, yeah. No, that's totally fine. Yes, that's I don't mind that. I want art of a centaur character, but nobody ever wants to do one. A centaur character is really 2 characters. Is the problem?
Yeah. It's so complicated.
Yeah. Bionic, if you want to do a commission for a centaur, I would be willing to do it, assuming there are caveats. But we can talk about it if you want.
It's not going to be a normal commission. That's all you need to know. It's probably going to cost more.
Where do the pants go on the centaur? That's the question. I had somebody.
I'm pretty sure the point is you want the horse apples hanging out there.
Yeah, I had on the note. I was being a little hyperbolic with my example, because I have had people do stuff like that. One of them that really caught me was somebody wanted a character with a. I still have this picture and I really like it. They wanted a character and they wanted a dragon familiar, and I was like, oh yeah, dragon familiar, sure, we can do that. Like I charged them extra, which was on the list of things. It's like, yeah, extra for extra characters and pets and stuff. They're like, yeah, that's totally fine. And then they're like, it's a clockwork dragon, and I was like, ah, shit. So, and I was just like, and in my head I was like, I should charge so much more for a clockwork dragon, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna do it. And I spent so much time on that clockwork dragon, and it hosed me for getting it done. I spent almost the same amount of time as I did for the main character. But yeah, like those are the kind of little things that just sneak up on you as a commission artist. You're like, dang it. Or like chainmail. Anybody wearing chainmail, it's like, oh, it's gonna take forever.
Unless you build a chainmail brush.
Yeah. Which I think I have done that in the past. I did that for one thing I did. I had to build like a chain pattern because they had a weapon that was like covered in chains or something. Oh, it's for it's for one of those chain devils. I built a chain brush so I could speed that up, because otherwise that would have taken me forever.
Forever.
Top heavy buff kobold and in a gremlin pose. Like the teddy bear gremlin pose. Yeah.
Imagine like hunched over and just like barrel.
There. One super cute gecko waifu.
That looks great. That looks really good.
Outfit based off of Dr. Ellie, what's her name from Jurassic
Stadler?
Park? Yeah.
I love that book. Lean Bruce Lee cut. Yeah, this is Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee
Yeah.
Brie. Nah, can't talk. Scumbad, was that a suggestion? You wanted to buff Kobold Gremlin pose, or was that just wishful thinking? We don't allow dragons in our town. Reasons for 2 mounts. Also, depending on if you are in that relationship with a dragon, they might shift into a humanoid form to travel with you on a horse. Also, pack horses and force multiplied by having a guy on a horse and a dragon in the air on the ground as well. I'm a little confused about that one.
All right, fine. I concede you have opportunities where it makes sense. Fine.
Sure.
I'm going
brushes are your
to.
friend. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to go take a bio break. When I get back, I'll roll again.
Okay. Pack horse. Texture brush are your friend. I would think reptile gremlin. Maybe it's the smart Tony Randall gremlin. Or Tony Randall. I don't know Tony Randall. There's not a suggestion. It was just when you were saying it was kind of like weird to draw them as buff without them looking like Dragonborn. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, they should be little gremlins. That would make total sense.
Going back to the centaur art thing, just reminded me of like how in shows you'll never see horses below like you only see like the top half of a horse. You'll never see the bottom half because it's just so hard to animate.
Yeah,
horse legs moving.
Something I've done in the past. I've had 1 or 2 times when I had to draw centaurs, and essentially what I do when I do it is I draw them. I draw the torso. That was the other. I had someone ask for a bust of a centaur, and I was like, "What does that mean?" like that's just a dude. You want me to just draw a dude? They're like, "Well, I want to know that there's a centaur." It's like, yeah, but I'm not drawing the bottom half. Like, how much of a centaur is the bust? So I think I eventually did, and this is kind of what I go with. Like, I draw like this part of the horse, and you get the legs, and that's it. Like, that's the centaur, right? And so I want to do that because that makes sense. But then people are like, oh yeah, and they have all this cool armor on the side and on the back, and it's like, so then I need to draw them like this, where they are just kind of a horse standing. And it's just, that's what you have to decide, and you have to talk about it beforehand, is which part is more important, the side of the horse or the person. And so that's a conversation you have to have, because otherwise you could get the wrong part and people get upset. I've done a couple things like this for deer. I've done deer folk before. I have a few of those. I don't know if I shared those. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I made stickers out of them for the Patreon members, for sure. Imagine panicky horses being carried by a dragon, like a cart when you... Oh, okay, gotcha. Gives you an altitude. Would suggest giving a centaur Scytherian war gear? Since some historians think Scytherians were the inspiration for centaurs.
Scythians.
I try that again.
Scythians?
Scythians? Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a lizard camp counselor. I'm gonna get rid of the banana sword.
Do you... never mind.
Is it a history question?
So, no, well, vaguely. It's also sort of art. Have you ever seen like a picture of like this golden stag that has like a bunch of curling antlers that kind of stack on each other?
Mm-hmm.
That's Scythian art.
Oh, cool. Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Kind of like old school fantasy Deithic art.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Stacy's mom does have it going on. Can't deny that. We make art easy to do, and centaur cats are more forgiving than horses. Are those the people with like the Sphinx people? I've had somebody want one of those too. Sneak up on the big bag evil lair and catch them off guard. Tale of surprise. That's a good one. Smurf Phlegian caps? They're lion creatures, okay. give him some scales and some tattoos, and we're gonna call it good. I just like the idea that kobolds are kind of like tiny and hunched up, but then when they start working out, they just get taller. They just bulk up and just become larger critters. You did, I win.
Do what I want.
We make her lion. Oh, okay. I think my next commission is going to be some lion folk portraits.
Nice.
Mountains of Cormyr. The bootleg of Arthurian Britain was remixed. Interesting. Interesting.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back.
What am I rolling?
D20.
D20. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that, Corvus. I have seen something like that before.
A 7.
Half-orc Frostfire Eclipse Sorcerer. Hermit who uses strength to cast spells. Okay. Wields a Morning Star.
Half-orc.
Frostfire Eclipse Sorcerer.
Okay.
Fire and ice. Not sure how they use strength, but I like it.
Sounds like someone's trying to make a Blood Rager.
They cast rage.
I cast Fire Rage. How do you do that? I cover myself in oil and then I tackle them.
I mean, something Goblin would do.
Yeah, it's a classic goblin spell. You never heard of it?
Had a set of knights which were all puns. Surprise, sirloin, serpent. Surround.
Oh my god, I finally just got what they were talking about. I haven't played that game in forever.
AQL? AQW? What is AQW?
Yep. Adventure Quest World.
Gotcha. No idea what that is.
It was just like a browser game.
Okay. I think I'm about done with this bad boy, but I'm going to give him some tattoos.
Skill tats.
Yep. How do I want to do this? I'll do it this way.
I'm not familiar with Eclipse Sorcerer. Is that a subclass?
I'm not familiar with it either.
I have no idea. That's why I was like, I've not heard of anything that lets you use strength as a casting spell. Frostfire Sorcerer sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Anybody has insight on that, let me know. That's not how that would work. It should be up here and come down this way. I'm trying to get better with my bends.
Eclipse Soul Sorcerer. It looks like it might be a third-party thing.
Okay.
Borrows light of heavenly bodies to empower your own purpose.
So it's
interesting.
It's
a
Sailor
stellar. The art for it is actually pretty eldritch horror, though.
Nice. Is this your suggestion, Elvin, here?
Yeah, I'll do my best. I do like drawing half-orcs. I suppose I should change to green, then dark green, because that'll be thematically good.
Thank you for the $5 tip. I appreciate that.
Let's see.
Damn it, now I have the stupid Sailor Moon song in my head. Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
Super buff, half orc, sork.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Druid will. Let's see what Druid does with it. I think this would be good.
Give me a pose.
I need to come up with a better way to draw half orcs. I draw them so often, and I always struggle with it. I need to spend some time just drawing half orcs.
Or just find a way of making orcs and half orcs more different.
Yeah. I think partially it's the tusks. Like, I'm not really good at drawing tusks. So I just need to spend some time doing that. All right, there's my kobold barbarian. I feel like he had not a sword, but that's not bad. Rolling dice. 2. Warlock's succubus queen patron. That's all it says. Warlock succubus queen patron.
Human
okay.
it is.
Might get banned from YouTube. We'll do a bust. How's that sound? Let's go! End up making a lot of Sorcidins, both because more smite slots, but also I can evade needing to worship a deity. You can do that with a paladin. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to do the thing. Oh, that's not right. No, get rid of that.
That starts fishing centaurs while I get banned.
Sorry, say that again. What was it?
Bionic said if I start suggesting sorcerers, will they get banned? I'm like,
no, they just won't be drawn fully. That's the trick. I draw different parts of them. Yeah, that's good. Boom. We'll put that up there so you guys can decide what color I draw next with. A succulock. Succubus. Funny. Some museums insist on having a governing patron for religious classes. Yeah, like that was the old system for it, and in Pathfinder, it's more mechanical because your deity will define which spells you have access to, especially for clerics. But like the new Pathfinder 2nd edition, the champion is just like you pick an edict, you picked an idea, and it can be aligned with a deity, but it doesn't have to be. And so yeah, it works fine. I think it works totally fine. You don't have to worry about that. The only problem, I think, the reason people do it is because then it forces you to choose something and not become a lawful stupid character. It's just like pick a deity so you have a baseline of how you're going to play this. Just because paladins have a little bit of a reputation for letting people do it, just like rogues kind of tend to the murder hobo. So.
yeah.
The strength mod is when literally muscling the magic out of them. Yeah, just rage-inducing a fireball. I'm now thinking about a warlock that wants to be entirely celibate and pure, but the succubus has granted them powers of seduction. That could be funny. I think that sounds really familiar. I'll have to think about that. Oh, I'm thinking of the red priest, the fire priest from Game of Thrones. Like, the gods chose him and gave him the power to like revive people, but he's just like, I don't want it. So he just drinks himself stupid all the time and tries to get himself killed. It's pretty funny. Just like, he's like, gods just want me to keep doing it, so I'll just keep doing it, but I don't like it. I don't like it or want it.
They're finally making a Beetlejuice too.
Interesting. Who's
gonna
going to be
have
Beetlejuice?
I think Michael Keaton is returning
Hmm.
as Beetlejuice.
I thought he got throat cancer, and I didn't think he could talk anymore.
No,
Maybe-
that was of Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer? Okay. Gotcha. Oh, that's
as
right.
well.
Because he had the weird cameo for Willow. That's where we were talking about that.
Yeah.
So I just mixed up the Batmans. That's fine.
Gina Ortega is playing the daughter of First Girl. And
okay. Yep. I can't think of the name. Stranger Things. That makes sense. It's funny.
and William Dafoe was in it, but I don't know who he's playing. So the Green Goblin,
Yep.
Wednesday, and Batman are in Beetlejuice.
Lydia was the character's name. Okay. Who's Tom Holland playing in it? Yeah. Sounds like a joke character. I want to make a character who's always looking faintly bewildered, thus making everyone in the same room because confused. Okay. The Man of Chaos is -2 on intelligence checks. That could be fun. Gremlins have a aura of bad luck, which I think you could probably use that as a base on, like an aura of stupefaction. If you wanted to have like a 6 int or an 8 int and have an aura of stupefaction, I would allow that. I think that would be really funny. Just anybody within a 30-foot range of you has -1 to their int or -1 to their int rolls.
Oh, Lydia. That's her name from Beetlejuice.
I was trying to think of the actress.
Thought yesterday.
What's being drawn? Did I miss my Fishman? Nope, not yet, Morbius. You haven't missed any Fishman. We've been drawing a lot of lizards, and now I'm drawing succubus, which I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Diablo 4 Lydia, or not Lydia, Lilith.
Winona Ryder.
Oh, yep, Winona Ryder.
I'm having so much trouble with posing.
Start it over.
Yep.
Try again. I think these ears are too much. I'll start doing pinups, but it'll only be elf women. Only draw elves. I guess there's a lot of people that are like famous for very specific things. I guess say famous, but like I know of them because of specific things. I did a study of Huff Love. Draws little thick goblins on Instagram or Twitch. Nope, Twitter. There we go.
The other T
The other one.
site.
The one that's the most toxic currently. No, the bad one.
The bad one. I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah, they are all bad.
Burning was talking here a second ago. Yeah. By the way, hello, Burning. Welcome in. If your int score is low enough, you should be able to make an inspirational spew. Wait, you should? Okay, but instead of int damage, instead it does int damage to everybody. Say something so stupid that no one understands it and hurts them. I like that. watched the Gremlins movie, the one with Gizmo. Yeah, we did a Why You Should Play Gremlins video, and I used them as the baseline instead of the other thing. If you haven't seen that, I highly suggest it. I still have a secret suspicion that one of our Patreon members owns the rights to Gremlins and just doesn't want anybody to know. Okay, how can I make this regal enough to be a patron and not just a regular succubus? Maybe bigger horns? Massive tracts of land. I have a sneaking suspicion that only older people get that joke.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a very old Saturday Night Live skit.
Ah.
I too often take long walks in the forest by myself.
I thought it was a Monty Python reference.
Oh, maybe it was. It is a Monty Python reference. I was thinking of
What's wrong with her? She's beautiful. She's rich. She's got huge tracts of land.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I was thinking of a Mike Myers sketch. That's the same type of setup. Just like...
I'm terribly sorry, but you're not going to believe this. I was under the impression that your son was a girl. I can well believe that.
A circlet between the horns. That could be good. Ooh, better idea. What if it's on fire? Earlier, someone had asked a question that I said I was going to think about, and then I promptly forgot. I'm going to go back up and see if I can find that. I missed a lot of chat. Hold on. I think Oliver asked it, but I can't remember now. It might have been the question you asked. Yeah, what question did you ask? I can't find it now. Oh, do you have any interesting facts about yourself? Mine is collecting old books. That's right. Do I have any interesting facts about myself? I don't think I'm all that interesting.
No.
Do I have any weird collections? That's a good question. I don't. Like looking around my room, I have a lot of just random crap.
You collect the skulls of your enemies.
I do, yeah. I have a random collection of skulls. I guess I want to say weirdly artistic. Like I have lots and lots of little tiny hobbies, like woodworking and sculpting and things that just like have no functional use except for that I know how to do them. So I don't know where that stands. But I've tried a little bit of everything in my life. So I have like origami paper. I have calligraphy brushes. Chalk. I've done a lot of different kinds of art. So that's kind of my weird thing. Yeah, the Hellboy approach is, I think, the way to do it. I watched the first and second Gremlins movie, but I haven't seen the third. I collect different caps from glass bottle drinks. Interesting. We're going bigger on the horns. I can juggle. That's fun.
That's neat. I like to read scientific journals for fun.
Are they peer-reviewed?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also super cheap, so it's all just stuff that I randomly find on Google Scholar. So.
What Warlock spell do you recommend? I really don't use Shatter, so I'm looking to swap it out. Shatter's a good one. Actually, I usually suggest people take Shatter.
Yeah.
Warlock.
Your guys' fight against my alchemical golem would have gone way better if somebody had Shatter.
That's true. I want the hair to be a little higher.
I had thunder. That's all I had. Thunderstones.
That was a good call.
I'm still salty that Jump Rope's acid arrow missed, because if it had hit, it would have healed.
That's lucky.
And none of you guys were actually in danger. Dang it, what's my problem today?
Why thicker thighs on the demon when you can have thicker horns? Exactly. Why not both? Why not both? Is Bayonetta a succubus or is she just a witch? Like,
I think she's just a witch.
okay.
Yeah.
Misty Step? Yeah, Misty Step's another good one. Nothing divine, mostly Eldritch or Necromancy stuff. Bayonetta is a witch angel hybrid. Okay, that makes sense. Tempted by the Hunger of Hadar. That's a good one. Yeah, if you can take Hunger of Hadar, I'd go for it. Some of the other ones, I think the Armor of Agathis is really good. I don't know if that's level 3. That might be level 1, but you can upcast it, I think. The other, I haven't played a lot of high-level warlocks. I always play Eldritch Knights, so Bonfire, it's cantrip. Definitely worth taking though. Okay, want her hair to be like flowy. I don't like that it's bound. I feel like that much more. Summoning Shadow Spawn, Fear. Fear's good. Roll a 7 on my D8, hit +3 con. Nice. You should hold a D&D type thing, but instead of your normal campaign, have PvP Hunger Games style thing for all the people on Discord that want to play. I have been called. I offer myself as tribute.
I volunteer.
Okay, I think I'm done with this one. I think I want more horns, though. Yeah. She's a horny succubus and demonetized. Many horns. Many horns on this demon. May the odds be ever in your favor. May the rolls ever be in your favor. Yep. Gotta appease those dice gods.
I think my favorite ever is from Sesame Street when they had Cookie Monster do the Hungry Games. It was, may the cookies be ever in your flavor.
That's pretty great. I like that. It's hard for me not to like Cookie Monster stuff though.
Yeah, same.
Muppets always know how to do it right. They're on their game. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break, double check the cats. One of them vanished. We'll be right back, everybody. Hang tight. We'll be back and we'll draw some more. Give me 1 minute.
I think I found a new favorite creature that's coming out in this new book. Druid.
Oh, good.
It's called the Songbird Spell Song Lyrebird. It's a highly intelligent bird, so good at mimicry that it unfortunately has learned to mimic wizard spells that it hears.
Oh, perfect.
I love it. Keep away from the magic school. Will destroy us all.
Okay. We're back. Looks like we're still on red. How do you usually... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The demon almost looks like Sister Hela from the Thor movie. Yeah! I should have done that. A reasonable sense of stuff. I can die and come back and give myself plus... What do you say? Temporary hit points, but I also have heavy attack. How do your usual turns look like? Weapon attacks, Eldritch Blast, spam? Good question. That is a good question.
When it comes to magic, I personally am very careful. Like, I try to be very judicious about use of magic, so I tend to spam cantrips a lot until somebody gets into a rough situation, and then I'll back up with magic.
I rolled a Gremlin Gunslinger. So like I said, I usually go Eldritch Knight, so I'm usually pretty focused on weapon combat. So I will have things like... I spend a lot of my spells trying to use shield. Things that'll give me temporary hit points, more armor. What's the other spell I use all the time? Absorb Elements is really fun. It's a little bit of defense and a little bit of offense.
I like if we're talking 5th edition, I like the investiture spells, like investiture of wind, ice, fire.
Does that make your attacks do those things?
They kind of just wrap the elements around you, so kind of like absorb elements, but instead of just absorbing an element, you kind of just put yourself in it.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever used those.
I haven't either.
I'm always terrified of running out of magic. So if I can cast a spell that lasts for a while, like Flaming Sphere, I'll choose that usually.
Flaming Sphere is good. assault spell. It's like bonfire, but more powerful.
Yeah. But
So-
you can move it around the battlefield.
Bonfire's a cantrip. You can just point it at a new square. Boof. Boof.
So, like, Messenger of Flame. You become immune to fire damage, resistant to cold damage. You have, like, kind of like a D10 fire shield around you if anyone gets in 5 feet of you. And as an action, you can, like, create a line of fire, like 15 feet long, 5 feet wide, in any direction you choose. And so the other ones kind of do different things. I think Vesture of Wind gives you a flying speed and other things.
That's good. I would go with Thunderstep. Honestly,
Oh.
Thunderstep or Vampiric Touch if we're going for specifically level 3 spells. Sorry, I just say some saltwater taffy. Yeah, Thunderstep and Vampiric Touch. Gaseous Form can be really fun, and then you have the Hunger of Hadar, Hypnotic Pattern, and Major Image. Those 3 are probably, like, in my mind, the most useful because they're like large crowd control type spells.
Mm-hmm.
But for my playstyle, which is usually more melee, I would pick Thunderstep or Vampiric Touch because I'm just like, I'm in the shit of it.
I just realized Eldritch Knights can't take these spells because they're all level 6 spells. So it's like,
That could be why I've never heard of them because they're so high level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Eldritch Knights are like half casters, so like they only get level 5 spells at most.
Depending on the character I play, I might just spam magic and deal with being out of spell slots when it comes to the moment. Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about warlocks is like they have the big spells. You can kind of just burn through them, and then you still can fall back on your cantrips pretty easily. So cantrips are very useful. There's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah. That was always the thing that I liked about 5th edition over 1st edition Pathfinder. 1st edition Pathfinder has 0 good like combat spells for or cantrips.
Yeah, they're all level 1. But like, because the idea about the cantrips in Pathfinder specifically is like they have to be weaker than a bow, because bows expend something.
Yeah.
And so they always do like a D4 of damage and some status effect, like, oh, this is, or like acid damage or light something on fire. Or cold damage, and then they're slowed. But low damage, status effect attaching. Have to be weaker than a bow.
Yes, which is fair for game balance.
And I think that's part of the problem that Rangers have, especially if you want to look at Rangers as like a classical ranged combatant. All of the Warlock cantrips are better than bows.
Yes.
They just are. And so there's no reason to have to buy arrows, manage arrows, deal with your proficiency, your dexterity versus your attack, or your dexterity versus your strength. Like, which one am I rolling? It's like, fuck it, just blast them with a cantrip. It makes no sense. Touch concentration spells that heal you for hitting enemies once a turn. Yeah. Just looked at Thunderstep. It's quite a lot of damage. Yeah, Thunderstep is really good. Especially, so like my usual thing is to have like Misty Step and Thunderstep, or have a character that can Misty Step, like being an Eldrin. So I have all those jump possibilities, and you can just pop in and out of combat. And that one is really, really good. Time for the hat trick, and then you just explode and get out of there. Probably said that in combat before.
This is my boomstick.
Is it good at work?
Thanks. It had better be after how many times I restarted on it. I don't know what my problem is. Today is not a great art day for me, apparently. So I'm.
It happens.
I was really hoping I would be able to move faster today. It was one of my goals.
Beat yourself up.
Well.
Quality over quantity all the time.
But what about both quality and quantity? I can do that, right?
Can you?
No, apparently.
I can do both. I don't think. No, I can do both. Okay.
I keep trying to do both.
If you think you can do both quality and quantity, then you either need to A, spend more time on what you're doing, or B, charge more.
But I don't charge you anything.
It's true. Washington is enforcing a whole butt ton of gun laws, which I'm okay with most of them. I think it's totally fine. I don't really have a beef for it, but my YouTube channel is covered in like lawyers and stuff, just like whipping up the gun panic. They're coming for our guns. It's like, stop it. But in the back of my mind, it's like, I could go buy another shotgun. That'd be nice. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't have any money. A very easy choice to make.
You could buy a shotgun, or you could buy the
Legend of Zelda. Yep.
The Legend of Zelda.
I think I've made the right decision.
Or just get you like 3 baseball bats.
Oh, I have 3 baseball bats.
Strategically placed in all corners of the house.
And no comment. Weird fact about me. Don't break into my house. Broomstick. What a big-eared rodent. Yeah, it's a little gremlin. It's a little gremlin gunslinger.
Advice for life: just don't break into anyone's home.
Yeah, that's the best advice. Don't break into anybody's house. I'm gonna get Thunderstep then, but Vampiric Touch is more thematic for my character. Then do that. Yeah, go with whatever works. I'm conflicted and indecisive.
Fun fact about me, I always choose thematically appropriate stuff over functionally appropriate stuff, which is maybe why I get so pansy-ass about expending my resources, because I have so few of them.
I was talking to Kevin the Necromancer yesterday about the next campaign he's running, where I'm playing a detective Garan, and he was just like, okay, yeah, we can sit down and talk about it. And I was like, okay, I want a revolver for my character. He's like, what? I'm like, I want a revolver. It doesn't have to be good. I'm not proficient in it. I just want it. And he's like, well, how much does it cost? I'm like, it says 4,000 gold, but that's for Pathfinder 1, so it's going to cost like 400 gold. He's like, that is way too expensive. I'm like, no, you don't get it. I need this for my character. I probably won't even use it, but I need it. And he's like, I'm going to say no. And I was like, I'm going to spend the entirety of the campaign trying to get a revolver for my character. That's it. Just so you have a heads up. That's my character's only goal right now. Is just find a revolver. Because I want him to be a hard-boiled detective. Thunderstep also makes sense for vampires as they're leaning more towards Dracula themes. Yeah, exactly. Just like exploding into blood and like teleporting across the room. Super scary. I love it.
I'll say if you're okay with a pepper box, it's just 12 gold.
Yeah, I don't want a pepper box. I want a revolver. It's got to be a revolver.
So what?
I want to be Eddie Valiant, but a flower. Tunes.
What Burning and I have done for his upcoming Nashi Raccoon Folk character is we've taken a slide pistol, which they do have stats for in 2nd edition Pathfinder, and just like said, it's just going to be the next stage in technology. It is just a revolver.
I like the cartridge system better for Like, I think that's the advantage over. Oh, there's that woodpecker. I see it on the neighbor's house though, and he's doing the exact same thing. Fuck you, woodpecker.
Cool.
Not cool.
So he's pissing off everybody.
Yeah,
not
he's just going around the neighborhood banging on all the chimney caps. No, I think that's the advantage of a crossbow, right? Like, because they got rid of touch AC, so like, then what's the point of having a firearm versus a hand crossbow? Hand crossbows you can reload one at a time. Revolvers should have the capacity of reloading multiple shots in one reload action. So that's the thing I like about them. But they're very powerful, and so yeah, they should be expensive. Kevin the Necromancer was like, well, maybe it can be your one magical item. I'm like, I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. You don't even have to give me bullets. I just want the revolver. Like, I'll make it work. Let's see what we got going on here. Cosmic says, I'm on the opinion that civilians should match the firepower with the police in their area. This is assuming they're only firearms legally. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. Honestly, I think that's fine. Like, so I don't care that we're passing laws about gun control and restriction. Like, I think you have to go through a class now before you can buy a firearm. It's like, that makes sense. I'm totally fine with those things.
If you have to before you can drive a car, you certainly should have to before you can own a gun.
Yeah, like that makes sense. But I also agree. It's like there's this weird thing happening of like and this is a little too political, but maybe I just kind of want to touch on it. Like, the militarization of the police force is both terrifying and comforting to me. And that's partially because, like, when I was growing up, a lot of the places that I lived and hung out only had like 2 cops. And so it was like there were people that just were more powerful than the cops. And that was terrifying because it's like, yeah, we can't fuck with those guys. Like, if they decide to be assholes, I mean, that's the whole thing about like homesteading, and the big problem they had is that like, there were parts of the country that were lawless. Like, they just were lawless. And so it's like, but now it's kind of the opposite, and the police are now getting so powerful that you can't do anything against the police.
Yeah, and you can't hold them accountable.
Yeah. And so it's like, I don't necessarily agree that if you don't trust the cops, you should have guns. Like, that's a little scary, but like, it's also not untrue. Like, it's this weird check and balance that we have to, as a society, decide on and play with. So I wish we could have better discourse about it, and like set up regulations, set up talking points about, like, do we take a class? Yes, I think that's fair. I think that's totally fine. Regulate it, talk about it, and it should be something that we can talk about without people essentially shutting down, like, First Amendment, take my guns. It's like, that's too far. That's too much. Be defensive and support your rights to own things to defend yourself with in a smart and meaningful way. So I miss the old school NRA when it was actually like, let's teach as many people how to be safe around guns because it's part of our country's culture, instead of now it's just a lobbying group, and it's just like, I hate it. So that's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Charles and Heston.
Yeah. So either way, one issue with licensing, in my opinion, is that in areas even now we see driver's license being used to discriminate against groups. That's fair too.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the argument, right? Like, you need to talk about those things, and we need to have a conversation about it. But there's a big difference between owning a butt ton of dangerous objects and carrying them around on the street, right? Like, owning a gun versus the license to carry a gun, that needs to be discussed, and what's the limitations for that, because it's different in every state. So once again, need to be able to communicate it, and we can't right now. Ideally, we'd want your community to be able to protect themselves in the events of police can't help. Yep, and that's fair too. I think there's Malcolm X had a big thing talking about that, of like, if we don't trust the police, then you need to be able to have that, like, the militia groups and just personal defense, like, accountability for each person. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to own a gun, but it's like, you should be trained to help protect and protect yourself in any way you can, because the cops won't always be there for you. So once again, everyone needs to talk about stuff.
Yeah,
being safe and in your area and knowing your area. Like, I've grown up with cops that are really cool. Like, I've personally known them, but I've also had friends that grew up in areas where the cops were known for dragging people out into the desert and leaving them there. That happened to one of my friends, and it was terrifying. So
yeah, we really should, like, The discourse absolutely needs to change, and it should be less about need to stop taking away my rights, and it needs to be more of people don't feel safe, and we need to figure out how to make sure everybody can feel safe, and not just feel safe, but be safe, legitimately be safe, and not have to worry about that sort of stuff, not have to worry about corruption and mafiosos and all the other things that can destroy a life, a family, etc., etc.
And I think that goes kind of just in general with everything, is because I mean, I can bring this back to D&D before we go too far off the deep end.
Yeah,
like,
which is probably a smart move.
Yeah, the whole like satanic panic thing was really a means of getting people riled up for political purposes. Like, that's all it was. It was like, we see this thing that we don't like that we could get people to hate, and then we can get these people on our side. Like, that's the whole idea. It's like, great, now we've got all these people in our pocket, we can do a thing. So for all the people that are, you know, rattling the sabers and saying they're taking our guns away, they've been corralled into that group. And there's a large group on the other side that's saying all guns are dangerous, we shouldn't have guns. Both of those are political standpoints that are not viable in a situation where we actually need to have discourse. Because we need to have discourse. We need to change the way things are. And we can't do that if people are screaming at the extremes of take away all guns, don't take away all guns. It's like, listen, let's talk.
I personally vehemently disagree with both of those arguments because they're both so extreme that given...
People just can't see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah. Perspective. People are unwilling to see each other's perspective.
Yep.
And we need to be. Otherwise, there's no communication. And as D&D has taught us, if you don't communicate, you end up with bad D&D. You end up on r/D&D horror stories, and and the internet makes fun of you. And
I think that's my gunslinger gremlin, by the way. I think I'm done with that one. Let me catch up on chat reset. Blah, 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 blah. Right, bring back firearms training to high school elective. I think absolutely that would be so good. And skateboarding. That was the other thing. Like, my high school banned skateboarding, and it made me so mad because like 2 high schools over had a skateboarding team. Yeah. And I was like, no, I want to do that. And they're like, no, skateboarding is hooligans. And it's like, nah. So, yeah, it's all money and culture.
Weirdos.
Snowboarding is an Olympic sport. What are you talking about? How is skateboarding any different?
Hell, I live in an urban area, but I still takes the cops 30 minutes to respond to emergency calls. Yeah, that's scary. That's really scary. Yep. And like, I hate it. Like when I had to help my sister out with a domestic assault situation, that's scary. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
She called me and the cops at the same time, and I arrived 26 minutes before them. Wow. Yeah. Not cool. Best talk I've heard, you have to learn paramedics. I think everybody should do that too. That should be in high school as well. Like, just safety, safety and medical treatment would be amazing. Panic groups are not helping the situation. Yeah, panic groups is kind of the thing that it's like, it's causing everybody anxiety. Like, everyone I know is kind of on edge, and it's like, I live in probably, I mean, I'm not California and I don't live in New York, but Washington is one of the higher populations of liberals. And so they're like, yeah, let's just pass all these laws to show people that we're awesome. And it's just like, all you're doing is like whipping up the people in the rural areas of the state. And now I'm scared, right? So they're just causing panic, and it sucks.
You're not ending the culture war, you're contributing to it.
Yeah, exactly. And so mutual ground needs to be found. Yeah. And it's just, there's, with all the discourse, it can't happen. Like, and this is true for everything. You need to be able to talk to each other. And we need to find a way to do that. You have to take a paramedic class with a gun class. That could be cool too, yeah. But I like I said, I wish everybody would take gun classes and everybody would take paramedic classes. And not just like, especially when I start, I see some of like my friends with their kids and like my younger, like the next generation of my cousins and stuff. And it's just like, I want to introduce them to guns so that they know not to be scared of them and how to be around them. Because like, it's terrifying with all this shit on the news that's not it's not being helpful. It's just being It's just more terror, which I hate.
Fear mongering.
Yeah. Am I allowed to modify thematic features in spells? Yes. As long as it doesn't affect the mechanics. So if you have something that is, say, fire cantrip, and you're a wizard that does ice spells, if you gain bonuses to it by changing it, make sure there's not a spell that's comparable to it already. And talk to your DM about it, because sometimes they're set that way. Like Fireball is the most overpowered spell in the game, on purpose. It is. It's overtuned for damage.
Yes.
So if you all of a sudden you then gain bonuses to it because you changed something, that's making it more overpowered, and that shouldn't happen. So.
A good example of you should modify any spell even thematically though. A good example of this is I played a Air Genasi storm wizard or storm sorcerer, and there weren't really any like fun cantrips that I felt were thematically appropriate, so my GM allowed me to reskin Firebolt into Plasma Bolt. So all it really did was swap out the damage type to electricity.
Yep. Yeah, and let me catch up here. So I'm going to draw a female reborn zombie with huge sharp teeth, black hair, and an eye patch hard on it. I feel like I'm drawing somebody's anime waifu, which I'm gonna do something different with that, but I will draw that. A female reborn zombie.
Anyway, the point of me bringing that up though was specifically like it was really important for me to talk to my GM about it, because the Storm Sorcerer does come with some class abilities that proc every time I use a spell that does that uses wind or electricity based damage. And so having a cantrip that procs those could potentially have been really overpowered. Yeah, so we actually had to sit down and talk about it.
Yep.
So just do that.
This area still has the skater panic stage. I'm sorry. I hate it. I'll admit I was a little bit of a hooligan, but at the same time, like I wasn't. You know what? I don't know where to go with that. I was gonna say I wasn't a drug dealer, but I hung out with a lot of drug dealers. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, a good way to help hooligans stop being hooligans is to treat them with respect and show them that you think that they are actually, in fact, people.
Yep, that's true.
So,
in my opinion, Cosmic's opinion, you should be able to own what you can and own what you can get trained in. And I think for the most part, that's true. Like, a lot of the people that are arguing that, like, oh, they're taking away our guns, it's like, I mean, you might not be able to purchase them just casually over the counter anymore, but you can still apply for a license to pretty much buy anything. Like, that's the cool thing about the United States. You can get anything you want. You just have to file the right paperwork. And have money, that's another argument on itself. Again, that can be used maliciously depending on the area. Yeah, I mean that's why it has to be a conversation. It can't make sense everywhere. And I think that's the biggest problem is people are worried about like federal laws changing, which is what we're having a whole bunch of problems with. Because it's like, who do you trust with between state governments and local governments and federal governments? So
I would prefer it if it was in the hands of local governments, but like there are so many local governments that have proven that they won't change anything in order to protect citizens. So it feels like in order for stuff to happen, there has to be a federal step in. That may not necessarily be the case, but like that's currently what it feels like because people won't talk. So just talk, people. Communicate, and when somebody tells you something, don't dismiss them. Take their perspective into account. That's all we have to do.
Hashi Brown asks, how to pelvis inverse kinematics. The pelvis should be your base link. So everything you're doing with your pelvis should be the weight, the center point. Everything should be based off of that. So your legs can be inverse in kinematic, so that when you move the hips around, the feet stay static. But then everything above it has to be linked to the hip. Does that make sense? That'll give you a noodly boy if you shake the hips around. I think. Inverse kinematics versus... One is hands front, and then one is shoulder front. Which one do you want? Mm.
Is this about 3D modeling?
This is about it's about animation linkages.
Okay.
The hips should be your base. The hips and there should be a ground plane, and your hips should be linked to it, and then everything else should be linked off that, so that like your feet stay linked here, and then you can like move this up and down, and the knees bend, and then the spine does the same thing. So if you move the hips, this should be the base, and then this will follow it. This is kinematic. This is reversing kinematic, I think. I will say, I think Vermont does have a good balance of gun laws, but they are trying to push for more, which is starting to make it harder for a law-abiding system to operate safely. Yeah, I don't know. The knee-jerk reactions are never helpful. I don't know enough about Vermont, so can't really add to that. There are countries that have gun safety as early as middle school, and they have as many guns per cap. Yeah, I think there's like Sweden and stuff. It really is. I think education needs to be a lot more prevalent about it if it is an issue. It's been proven to scale with population size. Yeah. I just want to make it so that thunderstep makes me disappear in a cloud of smoke, and the noise isn't thunder. It's a church bell. Yeah, that should be fine. Like, there's no reason to do that. As long as, like I said, as long as the mechanics don't change, I think all spells can be flavored.
Agreed. Sorry, what were you saying, Corvus?
I said hashtag for more public schools.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If all the money that is being used to lobby and fearmonger got spent on actual, like, school
Education.
programs, yeah. Oh my god, our country would be amazing. It would be just amazing.
But they don't want smart citizens.
Oh, no. No. Yeah, I think every time a politician gets paid money to run for office, half of that money needs to go to public schools. That's all I'm saying. You want to run for office? You fund the education system. That's my trade-off. Rook for president. Don't do that. I don't want to be president.
I was going to say, I don't think you want that.
I do not. I will turn it down very quickly. I just want to make it... Campaign I play Poppets. We are in Altered Men, so I'm more akin to self-cast Spare the Dying, and it's basically flavored as the mimic inside basically holds together the terror. I mean, you can cast Mending on yourself as a Poppet. I would allow that for healing. That'd be great. As long as I pass the increase in con saves. Yeah. We need a big focus on mental health care and for the work world to stop stigmatizing mental health care. I agree. Yeah. And once again, same thing. It's just like the whole defund of the police situation debacle. Like, I got that from both sides. Like, I had families that were just screaming like, that's stupid, you can't do it. And it's like, it's a smart idea, but the way it's being marketed and portrayed in the media is terrible. Because, like, the amount of money we spend on the police, a chunk of that should be sent to health systems that are run by the police. Like, there's no reason not to do that. So it's just like, hey, instead of buying more SWAT gear, we're going to spend 20% of our budget hiring specialists to deal with mental situations. So the people we train to be regular police officers don't have to deal with that, period. I'd be totally fine giving the cops more money if that's what they spent it on. Like, and I think Washington just did that, actually. They raised our taxes by like $10, $10 a year, so that we can pay the police force to have better systems in place for that.
More appropriate first responders.
Yeah, more appropriate first responders, absolutely. And so I guess I did put my money where my mouth is, and I agree with that.
Where are you going again?
Well,
I'm drawing an undead
Shark lady.
Is a shark lady?
I thought I heard shark teeth.
Oh yeah, she does have sharp teeth.
Shark teeth. Ooh ha ha. Sorry, is that too old of a reference?
God, I hope not. That's pretty old. Isn't it?
I don't know it.
Finding Nemo?
Oh, okay. I've only ever watched it once.
Oh, okay.
I was at an elementary school pizza party.
That's fine then. I thought it was an internet meme for a while.
One big issue is, the red flag laws. That's weird. To be honest, I'm good staying in England. I don't want to be around all of that. That's fair. I'm not going to talk about England because I don't know enough about it. So I wanted school choices, the way schools with good teachers would get better funding. Yeah, that could be interesting. I had a pretty shitty school system.
Yeah, I'd like a school system where my friend who's an art teacher doesn't have to spend her own paycheck on art supplies.
She doesn't have to, but she's probably a good teacher, so she wants to. But she should, yeah. They should definitely be able to fund that.
She shouldn't have to.
She shouldn't have to. Absolutely, you're right.
How about happy thoughts?
Did we get too dour?
getting
I'm
bummed
sorry.
out. It's like, please.
Funny control. Yeah, we're probably gonna change the topic a little bit.
D&D. Let's talk more about second edition Pathfinder's New Dragons. They're super cool.
Well, so far I really only like the Mirage. The Bollock is just too janky for me. It's like, mm-mm.
Why is it janky? What's up with it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
mechanically yet.
not just design wise. It's not like I don't like it.
Oh, I see. He's a chunky boy.
Oh.
Yeah. It's also like just really not gangly is the word, but crusty, crunchy.
Crusty's a good word. He's got a pretty big underbite.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've
It's like
seen
a
this.
bulldog dragon.
Yeah, that's a very good way to describe him, actually.
I think this was supposed to be more cutesy than. I'm gonna try to make this a little softer. Who likes body horror in D&D? I do not. I'm not a big fan of body horror. I do like creepy. I do like creepy horror. So.
Yeah, I can handle body horror in D&D better than I can in movies, which I cannot handle. So I don't like it, but I can just barely handle it.
I think
Just
it really
barely.
depends. Yeah.
I think the extent for me would be flesh warp characters.
Yeah, Ensha was almost too much for me.
Well, that is just like the art I picked. That's not like how I really imagine. That's just like the closest approximation to what
Fair.
they were like, because there was not a lot of art at the time, and I didn't want to steal someone else's OC character. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll love this to a video game.
Part of it, part of the thing about like the flesh warp specifically, is it's so vague in what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the Dalkins. What did they have? Shoot, it was the same thing.
You mean the Simic hybrids?
The Simic hybrids. There we go. Yeah. Like you could just like, oh, they have a crab claw. That's funny, but it's like, no. I mean, that should be weird and horrifying, and like, I don't think people in the universe should like it. And so with like the flesh warped, specifically, like these people are essentially tortured, whether they did it intentionally or not. Like, I think they should basically have an aura of uncomfortableness for everybody around them, unless they're in a situation where people are like, oh yeah, we're used to seeing people mashed with goats all the time. So that's something I think that isn't kind of looked at enough. Is just like the weird stigma that comes along with the character.
Yeah. Corvus and I actually did have that conversation about Ensha, and it was very specifically like, you're not going to be barred from, because of what you are, you're not going to be barred from working in the Adventurers Guild, but people are going to look at you askance, and you're going to have a rough time in town.
Yeah. And that might sound bad, because like I know people have like deformities and stuff and things they have to deal with, and that's fine, but like I think that's a good way to talk about it. I mean, not like, once again, D&D is not your therapy, but and also don't fetishize things. And I think that's the thing that worries me about it the most, is people that like, with body horror specifically, like they're kind of fetishizing the body horror. And so that's my line to draw with like horror movies. Like I'm fine with horror, and I'm not into like the Human Centipede or the Walrus movie. Like that's too far. That just feels like gratuitous gore porn to me. And so that's I just want people to be careful about that when they're doing those kind of things.
I don't know if I've really seen a lot of like fetishization, at least when it comes to like the flesh warp stuff. I mean, people can make anything sexy if they want.
Well, yeah, no. So there's that's fair.
But I've not seen like kind of the grossness that came anywhere near to like the human centipede.
Sure, and that's good. Like if you haven't run into that, then that's good. But that's the hesitation I always have when they have stuff like that is don't be making a character because it seems.
Yeah. And I think they've done a pretty good job of like explaining what like it is, at least within second edition, where it's like, because it's vague, but there's also like specific examples of it, like driders or flesh warps.
Yeah,
and so
and some literally just look like Frankenstein.
Yep, and I think that's kind of the key I'm trying to get at here is, when you're making those characters, like they're supposed to start off being that horror thing, and that's where you kind of need. That's where your mindset should be. But if you're like, oh yeah, it would be so cool if I could have like weird wigs, it's like, hold on a second, like, slow down. Because being a drider isn't supposed to be a cool thing. If you want to play a drider, that's fine. But like most of the driders were supposed to be this horrific thing that happened to somebody. So it's an interesting concept, something to think about.
Yeah.
Kafka's not a human centipede. Please, thank you.
More happy more happy topics.
Is this just Captain Event? Maybe, yeah, it could be Avantika. So low key, I might have an affinity for dryers. Spider wife. Hey, whatever.
We are not here to kink shame. Just like be aware. It's not for everybody.
Not safe for YouTube.
It's the same. I think the like the big thing I just was trying to get at is like, there was the issue about like when they started adding like the wheelchairs and stuff to D&D, like the adventure wheelchair. People were like, don't use this as an excuse to fulfill a I can't remember the term.
A fantasy.
Yeah, and so it's there's a very big difference between that and like wanting to play a character that is missing an arm and has a robotic arm, or wanting to deal with that, and someone who's playing it because they want to fantasize it. That's the fetishism of it. It doesn't have to be like a sexual thing. It's just like there's a difference, and so just be careful when you're making those things. So like with Flesh Warped, that's great, like horror character, awesome, but some people want to do it because they have that niche and love like the super body horror, like human centipede tropes. And it's like, only bring that to your D&D game if everybody's cool with it. That's what I'm trying to get at. So when I say fetishism, I don't necessarily mean sexual fetishism, but like that kind of extra inappropriateness to it.
So I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I've known any people who enjoyed that type of thing, so I think I'm in good company of
probably
avoiding that.
Probably.
I had a lot of friends that were like super into the Saw movies and Happy Tree Friends, and it's like, I'm a little uncomfortable. So it just is what it is.
Then they need help.
No, not necessarily.
But that's all I'm saying. Be careful with it. I've also had people had conversations about like wanting to have their characters be slaves or like freed slaves. There's another whole side of that. It's not always malicious. But there's an air of, why are you making this character? Because it's something you can enjoy, or because you're trying to get something more out of it. That's the fetishism of it. So, weird shit. It's a weird stream today, everybody. Don't let D&D be your therapy. That's what I'm saying. Or maybe two. I don't know. I don't know how to stand on that anymore.
Let D&D be whatever you want it to be.
It absolutely can be. That's the thing. Like, I've known people that like work through shit in D&D.
Yeah.
And for the most part, like, that's great if that helps you. If all you need to really do is talk about something, this can be a great way to do it, right? Because it's escapism. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's escapism.
Cheaper than most therapy.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless you're the DM.
That's fair. I think that the point should specifically be don't force D&D to be something that everybody at the table hasn't agreed is the thing you guys want it to be. Because it's not just all about you, it's about everybody at the table. So you just like do what you want, just make sure everybody is okay with what's happening.
Yep, I think that's a great way to say it, Drew. Especially so when someone asks you, how do you feel about body horror? I don't appreciate it. I'm okay with some of it to a point. Like, I had no problem with Chorus playing a Flesh Warped. It was fine. Yeah. There was nothing wrong with that at all. But I have had people that just like I want to play my Flesh Warped character so I can describe to you all the weird, sick shit that I think is bad about my character. It's like, I don't want to, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need that at all in my game. So, sloths are body horror. Yeah, sloths are body horror.
Yeah.
Creepy. I've had depths.
They're also like horror.
Yeah. Got a little vor in there somewhere if you're not careful.
Yeah, I tried to make them not terribly gross, but apparently I didn't succeed too well.
I was never bothered by it.
I think that is kind of specifically the point. I don't think that you did it bad. I think Ensha is a good example of how to play a Flesh Warped and make it work for everybody at the table. And I think a big part of that was like you and I had the conversations that we had, and then when you like introduced Ensha, you didn't spend 30 minutes describing the
eyeball
way it
popping out
looked
of your
like.
head.
The way it looked like he had way too many weird horn growths all over his head and face, and his skin was sloughing off his hands or whatever. Like, yeah, you didn't harp on it, and I think that is specifically why Ensha is a good example of how to play something body horror and not gross everybody the fuck out.
Elden Ring is a great example of body horror. It's uncomfortable. It's specifically uncomfortable in that game. And
and it's specifically designed to be.
Exactly, and it pushes that boundary for me of just like, I see a boss cutscene and I'm like, oh man, ooh, I don't like it, and it's fine. And then if I have to fight that boss a bunch, it's just like, please just start auto skipping this cutscene. I don't want to watch this again. So, but I think, like I said, they did a good job of like, they made it uncomfortable for a reason, so that it's like, so you have to kind of like, oh no.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it was part of the marketing
it
was part of the marketing as well. So everybody who was playing Elden Ring knew basically what they were going to get.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, that's one of those bosses. I wouldn't necessarily call them overtly grotesque, but definitely had a bit of that body horror. Margaret, go off all the. That's kind of the main inspiration for Ensha, physically.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. All the weird horny growths all over him.
Yeah.
The fact that the wheelchair made the player characters better than able-bodied PCs. Yeah, that's a whole weird thing that I'm not versed enough in talking about, because I don't know enough about the things. I think it's a great opportunity to be in the game, and so people that are picking it because it's OP feels a little disingenuous. That caused I was gonna say dissonance, but that's not right. It caused the issues that came up with it, like, I think were valid and people talked about it, but I don't think there was a lot of rage about it that I don't think was as necessary. So it's something that just overall I think is a good thing to be in the game, but don't let it stress you out. So
I think it's important to note that one of the reasons that these things are being made is to give people with disabilities representation. And I like, for if you don't have an experience of being excluded from normalcy from a community, and you don't have the perspective of suddenly of feeling representation when you've never ever had representation. I'm not going to say that you don't get to talk about it, like, or you don't get to complain about it, but like, I don't think you understand how important a thing that is. Like I was watching a Minecraft YouTuber. He's been disabled. Like he's got an unknown neuromuscular disease, and he's been confined to a wheelchair since high school. And he used to be he used to be an athlete. He was a swimmer. And like somebody did like a diorama in Minecraft, and it included a kid in a wheelchair going to like a Disney-esque sort of theme park. With their parents, and like that legit brought this YouTuber to tears, because just like being included in society when you always feel excluded is a huge thing. So I have always thought that those mechanics being made to include people, even if they are slightly OP, or like if they I don't think they've ever ruined the gameplay, but if they kind of disrupt gameplay a little bit, I have always thought that it's worth it, just for the simple fact that people who have always felt excluded could finally feel included.
Yeah, inclusion is great, and that's why I think the discourse that it comes up with is a bummer, but like overall, it's still better that it happens, right? Like the discourse is worth it, because most of the time it's people just being like, "This is ruining my game." It's like, well, there are people that also want this to be their game and aren't represented. So like, inclusion should never be looked down upon. It's always better. Hold on, let me catch up on chat real quick. Hey, I wasn't going into detail. Yeah, Gamma, you were fine about the spider thing. It's totally fine. I'll keep my Dritus fetish off the table. I mean, unless your party's into it, then whatever. I know a lot of people that are like having very, very dark games and like having like very sexual games. It's like, it's not my table. It's not my table. It adds depth to my characters. I know a guy, what? Otherwise it may be bland as a graham cracker. Yeah, you can definitely add fun stuff to your characters without having to like really like when I say don't bring your fetishes to D&D, like you can absolutely play what you want, and it is a fantasy thing. So if you want to be a buff tiger boy, like this is a great place to do that. But don't be a buff tiger boy that is making everybody at the table uncomfortable. That's it. That's it.
Don't play a kitsune that you always describe as being completely nude all the time and then lick members of the party.
Yeah. But that's my character. It's like, that's not the character for this party. I had someone on the opposite end of that. I had someone playing a cleric that they wanted to be like the best way I can say this is like a Southern Baptist missionary paladin. And it was super uncomfortable for everybody in the party. And I was like, this is not fun. I don't appreciate this.
Yeah. No, as a person who was raised in the Mormon church, I could not have played in that game.
I know a guy whose parents were escaped slaves from a factory.
Ooh.
Like a real dude, or like their character? Because that's terrifying. They were really well adjusted to freedom. Good. That is scary. It's really scary. Taking a character and adding was a slave can be interesting, similar to adding PTSD. Yeah, I mean it's both. It's like sensitive topics that you need to be able to deal with, and like I said, don't fetishize it. But there's definitely things that can be added into that for storytelling. My DM allowed. There we go. Allowed me to change the damage type to necrotic. Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah. No ER spoilers, please. What? I haven't gotten to play because people keep spoiling it, and it takes me forever to forget. ER spoilers. I don't know what you mean by that.
Is that the Zelda game?
Maybe.
No. What is? I keep forgetting the title.
Elden Ring spoilers.
Oh, Elden Ring.
I will say this, and like this is not true for everybody, but a story worth telling doesn't matter if you know how it ends. So. So if you're avoiding playing Elden Ring just because you want it to be completely fresh in your mind, like just start playing it. You'll enjoy it. Like I think you'll enjoy it. Someone have suggestions for a name change on Thunderstep. I mean, if you change it to Necrotic, why not just like vampiric step, or bat step, or shadow step. They're fine.
I like Shadow Step.
Shadow step's pretty good. Yeah. Unless you're going for that for I don't know what that word is. I'm gonna worry that that's a word I shouldn't say, so I'm not gonna say it. Gothic is really gothic step. That's the whole point. I wish people would stop demonetizing DID. Demonizing. Sorry, I'm like demonetizing. Demonizing DD. It's made my life living hell when people find out I have it. I can see that. And I'm sorry that is happening. All right. There's definitely that might be a little too dark. I don't want to talk about it right now. I've known some people with DID in my life, and yeah, I've seen them struggle with it. So I definitely have a hard time when people want to play, like people that fetishize like multiple personality issues.
Ooh, yeah.
And I've had a few people for D&D characters that like try to sell me on their character ID, and it's like, man, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm just not. So yeah, that's another good topic for the same thing. It's just like there's the Harley Quinn aspect of things, of like just being kind of batshit crazy. It's like there's that, and then or like specifically with the relationships or with respect to relationships, like the Harley Quinn Joker relationship, and like people bringing that to the like yeah, it can be really fun to be this like super violent, shitty, abusive relationship. And it's like I'm not comfortable with that either. Like I don't want that in my games. So
yeah. Nope, I do not like domestic abuse situations at all.
So it's really good to you have to talk those out, and you have to figure out what people want to play and what is worth talking about and what's not worth talking about. And, some people really enjoy that type of mentality, and that's their prerogative to do that. As long as everyone's consenting and having fun, then it's fine. I've been legit turned out for jobs without social functions. Interesting. Sorry to hear that.
The word cosmic said is just boss in Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
Nothing bad.
Gotcha.
Like, wait, what's he talking? Oh, Fortisax.
Yeah, Fortisax. I was like, I can't say that word. As someone with several disabilities, was interesting time. People were making disabled PCs overnight. My question is, why didn't people have them before? Only after the Wonder wheelchair. Yeah, and that's like I could definitely see like that. Like I said, It makes total sense of why people were upset about it. But I think I think that is just because people don't realize the benefits and implications of doing that, right? So it's like, yes, it's good it's added to the game, but people are then just being like, oh, that's super cool. It's just like, yeah, tone it down. Right. So it's the same thing. Like that's the fetishization of stuff. When something is more novel or, ooh, it's exotic. It's like, no, you're an asshole. So it's just really how that works. It's just how life is. Everything is like that. So it's just better to think about things. Be aware. Trust me, as a nerdy black guy, alliteration is not new to me. Oh, alienation is not new to me, especially for my own community. What? Definitely get it. Not that specifically, but like I appreciate it. Bringing that in. Anytime people will try to represent DID, they do more damage, and the people who play characters with DID add to the issue. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. And that's really the problem. Like it's hard for. I've had all kinds of had a very weird life, but I don't really have a lot of those issues, and so it's hard for me to want to like stand up and be like, well, I know exactly how to do things properly. It's like I don't have a lot of those experiences. I have friends and families with those experiences. Same thing with alienation. I've been alienated in my life. Like there's a lot of ways I've been alienated, but it's not always going to be the same. Everybody's experiences are different, so I can't say that I'm for sure know exactly what you're talking about, but I have dealt with alienation in different aspects of my life, and so I don't want to belittle your story any more than what I can do is compare it to mine, and maybe we can have a conversation about it someday. So, sorry for you. I hope I get to that. Yeah, I prefer going into games blank or. Sorry, my eyes are bugging me now. I prefer to go into games blank on details so I can enjoy them for myself with no prior bias. I like that too. I really like going in like with a very vague character concept, like hard-boiled detective. That's all I'm going into with this Quran. And then just seeing what happens. kind of making up the story as you go, so it fits the game. And that way, you can kind of fit things into the story around you as people are talking about it. And you kind of feel things out a little better. But if you go into like with a full story and backstory of things, then it gets a little weird. I will go with Shadow Step. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, I like Shadow Step. I think I'm missing something on this character, but I think I'm done with it too. I don't know what else it was supposed to be. Cutesy? Was it supposed to be cutesy?
I don't know.
She was supposed to have sharp teeth.
Yeah. Undead.
Undead. Crap. That's why I was doing the sharp cheekbones. It's gonna make her a skull. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it again. Maybe we'll do one of these. Do a little surgical stitching.
I have decided I am doing full color.
Oh shit. Here we go.
I shouldn't, but I'm doing it.
I've told this story before, but I think it's worth telling. Bri, hello. How are you today? What's up? The poll didn't have orange. Oh, I can add orange. The problem with orange is that it's kind of hard to see. So.
It
Yeah.
also hurts my eyes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't want to draw with orange.
If you draw with orange and you make it dark enough to see,
brown.
it's brown.
Yeah. So I picked the primary colors and then purple because I like purple. So, DID used to be called multi-personality disorders, and DCF members is now DID.
Yeah, it's
okay.
dissociative identity disorder.
Yep.
I think, yeah.
And that was honestly, that uncomfortableness I have is one of the reasons that I was not a big fan of changelings, because once again, it was people just like, I can play everything I want, and it's like, you can, but you really should be one character. And really what they're doing is they're trying to find a way to it always felt like me like they were trying to play a character with the ID, without saying that they had it. And it's like, oh, it's a boon for me. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, be sensitive about that though. Like, you really like think about that. So if anyone at the table, which was me at the time, it bothered me a little bit. So. Also, one of my players plays a mute character. I've given some NPC sign language, but it really impacts how they communicate. And I also know ASL, so it's very fun to do. Nice. Yeah,
That's cool.
Wow, what was I did? I like sign language. I'm not good at it at all, but I want to learn. So every now and again, I go through fits of like trying to learn more.
Yeah.
And so
I never learned it. I tried a couple of times, and I'm as bad at it as every other language I've ever tried.
Yeah, I had one person try to play a bard that was mute, and so they had to use sign language, and I thought that was kind of an interesting way to do it, like giving themselves that as a challenge. But I could see that being, not tactful in some situations, but they did a good job with it. So I'm playing a character now with multiple personalities right now. It's one of my games, and I hope I've handled it well. Yeah, that's good. That's a good challenge to try to do. And I think, like I said, I think all of these things can be done well, and they're great things for the story. It's just, like, I know there was a lot of, like, complications of, like, straight people shouldn't play LGBTQ plus characters in D&D, and it's like, I mean, they can. It's just, like, they need to make sure they're not fetishizing it. That's all.
Yeah. The point isn't you shouldn't do this if you don't have it. The point is be intelligent and respectful about it, right? Like, if you're not LGBT and you want to play an LGBT character, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Just don't play a meme character.
Yep, that's I think the biggest thing. Don't play meme characters ever. Like, that's the caricatures, right? Like, that's the shitty stuff.
Don't reduce my queer people down to nothing more than a joke.
I had a concept for a split personality cleric. Never did play it. Felt awkward, and that's fine too. Like, right? Like, sometimes you have an idea and you're like, ooh, you know what? This doesn't feel right. I'm gonna change it. That's great. Like, that means that you're being aware of yourself, and that's important. I have an inherent serotonin deficiency from my father, which is a bit annoying. Bummer. Is that like depression?
Yeah, it causes hormonal imbalance. It makes it really difficult to sleep. I don't know what else it would do, but serotonin is one of those important brain chemicals.
I think the interesting thing is, like, there are very few people that just have nothing Like everyone, there's
yeah.
just this huge spectrum. Everyone's got something weird about them.
We're all fucked, which is one of the
little bit,
reasons
yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I thought the COVID, like, I won't wear a mask because God made lungs perfect thing. I thought that was super disingenuous because I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
No human on earth is perfect. And if you knew much about your Christianity, you'd know that that's part of the fall of Adam, thank you. So.
Oh no, I've got an orange. I just gave her an orange beard instead of shadows. Trick. Bri, I hope you're doing well today, by the way. I might not be in the right chat if you were talking in Discord. Let me check. Sorry about that. No, okay, it's just the they were here a little bit ago now. Just kind of coming down with the orange. The orange color made me think to say hello again.
I can't vote again, so.
Just give a little more eye darkness. I think we'll call this one good.
Those summoners.
Oh, summoners, so good. I was looking at that actually. So Lars is playing a what is it? A witch. Lars is going to play a witch in the next campaign, and they get the familiar, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to apply the stats that the familiar applies to them. Like, it gives you, their familiar is basically your spell book, so you get to add a bunch of spells that the familiar knows. But then, like, picking a rat, you're supposed to have bonuses to stats. Maybe he was looking at an old paper, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
I don't. So my understanding of the Witch in second edition with the familiars is when you every day you just add stats to your familiar.
Interesting.
And so, like, say
you have like a free floating stat you can change. Is that how it works?
You have like a lot of stats as a witch you could change about your familiar.
Interesting. Okay.
Because there's no like set familiars anymore unless you have like an animal companion.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So it is, the familiar is separate from like an animal. That would make sense because in Pathfinder 1, the animal companions like the bats would give you different abilities than the different things. That's something Lars wanted, so maybe we'll have to switch it out. I'm not sure.
So they say you should always add things that the form always would have. So like Nimi's crow will always have flying because it's a crow.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Or raven. But as a witch, you get like, I think 6 extra things you can just add on to your familiar.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. A tall, buff human magus that fights with a metal staff and uses a lot of lightning magic. Nice. Lightning rod wizard. Haha, I'm a quirky altered personality and therefore overly sexual. Haha. I'm so quirky, like Moon Knight. That is how a lot of people see. Yeah, that's the thing I've heard a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's like
I'm just very confused.
What? Insomnia? I have several people who I loved who hate me or turned on me, and I'm not sure why, and a large portion of my childhood is a blank memory. Oh, that's the reality. Yeah, okay. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing about a lot of these disorders is like, they're tough. And I think that's the thing you should, that's kind of the thing I always look at is like everything you're adding to your character should maybe not be a detriment, but like it's a challenge for your character. Being a Minotaur, like what are the challenges of being a Minotaur? What are the challenges of being a flesh warped character? They don't always have to be like destructive and horrible. Like I said, like a lot of people want to have PTSD for their characters. Like that's a very, I think it's common enough that people understand large traumas, right? So that's something they can bring to D&D.
Yeah.
A lot of my characters are just like overbearing and depressed, because that's what I have. That's what I'm used to, and I have rage issues. So
weirdly enough, the only thing I could think of immediately when you said that for Angel was their clothes never fit right because they have all these horns on them, so like no clothes is ever going to fit right on them.
That's fair.
Not a huge detriment. It's annoying.
You have to spend 5 silver getting your clothes tailored every time you find something.
I mean, like, it probably more than that if you need to have armor that fits you.
Elven hair, $5. Dude, thank you. It looks awesome. The hat work looks awesome.
Oh,
nice
yeah.
job. Druid, you're doing a great job. I'm going to have to
Thanks.
buy Druid coffee now.
Druid doesn't drink coffee.
Or
That's
decaf.
It kills me.
Sucks, especially for family. Yeah, yep, it happens.
Mango
Also
juice,
depression,
then.
but people have it magically just mean, moody, and sexy instead of low energy and feel like junk. Yeah, that's the other fetishization of depression is just like the edgelord. It's like, it's okay for your character to be sad. They're like, no, like Batman, and that's my life. Like that's my life. I totally get that. So.
But also, Batman was sad.
Are these kind of videos new for the channel where we talk about horribly dark things?
I
A little bit.
Kinda.
We usually talk about food, but we do get a little existential. It's existential week on for Rook.
Oh, don't worry, we will get to food later, though. I guarantee.
I think this
As
all
soon as
spawned from me.
lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly. This all spawned from me being mad that Washington is changing its gun laws, and I'm not even
You
really
said you
mad
wasn't
about it.
mad.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not mad about it, but I'm passionate about it. I have no problem with any of the laws they've passed. It's like that's fine, but like I don't trust that farmer guy with the Jesus is Trump sign in his yard. So we'll see what happens. Do your research, please and thank you. Sign language
And treat
caster
everybody
sounds
with
cool.
respect.
Yeah, so Cosmic, the sign language caster sounds cool. Or you're effectively a mime. That was part of the old Oracle stuff. Like there was a mute one that essentially the boon from it was that you could cast spells silently. The downside to it was that you had to use somatic components. Or is that right? Somatic, the hand gestures?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically you could cast every spell silently, but you had to use every spell then got a somatic component. So it's kind of an interesting thing because then like having your hands tied or other things shut down your spell casting. So that's the kind of like the balances I like, where it's not something that's just you're just doing it to be moody and sexy, right? Like it's actually a mechanical thing that is a challenge for your character. And that's what I think a lot of those kind of things should be. My queer party group flirted with anyone they found hot. Old guys got called daddy, and no matter what, at least one would flirt with them.
Oof.
It was a gay boat.
That sounds pretty accurate to me.
It does sound pretty accurate.
Not gonna lie.
There was a really funny thing. One of our friends, we just got them into D&D, and they started like their character started fawning over Jump Rope's character because Jump Rope's character was Fae, and they were like, when they started like, I'm gonna just be obsessed with the Fae. And then when Jump Rope's character was a Fae Satyr, they started fawning over it, and we're like, this is a little creepy. Like, you get that this is a little creepy, right? And he's like, yes. like it just took
And
him a
why
little
are
bit
you
to be
doing
like,
it?
I'm gonna meme this real hard, and then meming it really hard is like, this is making people uncomfortable. I gotta switch that. Like, yeah. They got banned from a pub for flirting with the bugbear bouncer. Funny. If that's the vibe of the party, more power to them, I suppose. Exactly, yeah. Like what would you call it? It's like a gay party boat adventure. I could see that
That's
happening.
the love boat.
Yeah, the love boat. Wouldn't be the weirdest campaign that I've ever had people run. What was the other one? I was trying to make Shiva, my little juggler. She's a elf, little half elf juggler, and I wanted her to be like aggressively friendly to Kevin the Necromancer's character. And because he was so tall and my character was so short, I would just like constantly say like, oh, I just slap you on the ass as you walk by. And then we all kind of like, we kept talking about it. And it's like, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's like, I don't know what else to do. We're like, pat your knee. So yeah, like that kind of stuff happens all the time. And it's good to like find the comfort level of the party. And it's like I don't mean to be sexually harassing your character.
Yeah,
Also
no,
my
you
intent.
gotta punch him in the hip.
Yep. Hey, buddy.
Brian, are you asking if Love Boat's a cruise? It was a show. That's what you're asking.
It's the love boat. The
It's
love
just
boat.
a single cruise.
Yeah, singles cruise. Those exist. You can do that as a D&D campaign. My guy is classic edgy one. I hate the term because the whole town was murdered, but he wasn't. Okay, so you got the Sasuke background. I like it. And he seeked vengeance and found that the pool of blood he lifted in the Perpetrator's house. Okay. Yeah. That's classic. That's totally a thing. On top of food, I just finished making dough for Sonora the grass. Nice. I grew. That sounds really good. I need to make pizza dough tonight. Havarti. What's the officially the best cheese? Sorry.
Havarti.
Havarti's the name of Captain Jump Rope's chocobo. So I was like, what? What's happening? And I was so used to seeing, I saw your name is with the mod. Usually Jump Rope's the only one that has the mod. And I was just like, what happened to Havarti? I got worried. Okay, what was I drawing? I got distracted. It was a human something.
A human magus.
Yep. Oh, lightning wizard. Yeah.
Yes. With a metal staff.
How many more you got in you think?
What time is it? It's 2 o'clock? I could probably do 1 or 2 at the most. This one and then maybe one more.
This is my suggestion.
I like goat cheese now, but I used to like blue cheese. Blue cheese is my favorite for a long time.
I don't like the weird astringent taste that goat cheese has.
That's what I like about it, yeah. It's like, it's just very sharp. And not like sharp cheddar. It's like, it's got its own weird sourness to it.
Yeah. It's also kind of grassy some days. I'm like, not about that.
Colby's pretty good.
The only goat cheese I have ever had actually tasted like licking a goat.
Oh.
You're not supposed to suck it out of the goat.
No, I didn't. I bought it from Costco.
Gross.
I've never been to a Costco.
My favorite type of character to play is someone with a dark origin, but it's actually nice and positive. It's like the contradiction. I have a lot of people ask me to draw minotaurs that are really beefy and just devastatingly powerful, but such a sweet cowboys on the inside. And I don't know why that is. Like the duality. It's like you could just have a mean minotaur.
Anime.
Maybe there's an anime reference that I'm not getting.
It's the rise of the himbo.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That could
Well,
be true.
yeah. There's this thing in like anime and manga called the Gap Moe, which is like it's like really cute and super powerful, or like really powerful looking, but it's like secretly a big softie.
Oh,
like
okay.
The gap between the imagery and that reality.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But I think that's pretty common, is where I'm getting with that. Like,
Yeah.
I think that idea of like, I want to be the edgelord, but I want to be like the sweet character. It's like, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but
No, but
it seems like something that a lot of people like to do. So
yeah, it's just the internet is discovering the meaning of the word juxtaposition. That's all.
that's fair. Yep.
Yeah.
I like playing the edgelords that are actually just edgelords. They're just like grouchy and don't want to talk.
I originally liked that, but then I realized that it's really hard. Like if you have to get all of the characters in a campaign to come together and have a reason to work together, it's pretty much impossible to make that make sense if your character is an edgelord.
Sure, I can see that.
Am I still rolling a d20?
We're down to 14, so
Okay.
if you roll above a 14, just re-roll. My guy is tragic, but H. Tragic, but hot? Bit cynical, okay. Doesn't have time for
11.
11. Thrycreen.
You're every vampire
Ooh.
character ever.
Yeah. A lunar moth Thrycreen.
Ooh,
Level 7
okay.
druid. And the sentence is, which I think that's cheating, but that's fine. This is still following the rules. Still following the rules. A female with black dress who works for an evil king working to kill a small party. So you have a big bad evil Thrycreen lunar moth.
Okay,
That
that's
sounds pretty
cool.
good. That's a good character.
Yeah.
I like that.
All I
format
needed-
too. Race, class, and the sentence. I like that.
All I really needed was Lunar Moth, Thrycreen, Druid in a black dress.
Vaguely evil.
Vaguely evil.
Uh-oh. I told you guys about Jump Rope's Chocobo. She left the chat.
He left before.
Oh, okay.
The-
Thanks for the art. No problem, Elvin here. Glad Druid was able to do that.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. After having started and stopped and struggled for so long, I decided that it had to be colored. So you kind of lucked out there because I had not intended on going that hard on that drawing.
Nice. I watched your playable Wendigo video. It's good and helpful because I plan on playing one now and I never knew how. Yeah, glad you like that one. That was a fun video to make. I'm gonna give this guy the biggest beard, just Ramu style. We're gonna go to town with it.
I was like, I don't know where he's going with this.
What are all these lines?
It's like I just said human.
Oh, is this yours?
Yeah.
The Dice God likes Corvus's suggestions.
Always. But there's also times where I will not post anything.
That's fair.
Like I don't need any art this week. Just going to seduce everyone with his big jellyfish beard.
Yep.
Yep.
No one can withstand the Ramu beard.
I mean, I didn't when we first fought him. It's like, oh, never mind.
Is there a slightly sketchy looking Oathridden Paladin on the list? Yes. It's currently number 3. Not that the
Now
order
that you
matters.
said that.
Oh, I'm probably gonna roll a 3 next, yeah.
Yep. It's been put into the universe.
Did you say slightly muscular? Is that what it was supposed to be?
I think it just said buff.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say, like, because in my head it was just like buff dude. I was like, I hope it wasn't slightly muscular, because then I'm adding all the extra beef.
Yeah, muscular human dude, Magus with metal staff, with lightning powers.
Who's ready for a shock?
Because lightning is one of my favorite things to use.
Nice. Lightning is my second favorite magic style. Right behind ice. Ice magic, and then if ice magic not possible, because lots of games don't like ice magic, lightning. I love the lightning wizard from Diablo 2. This does 1 to 1,000 damage. It's like, oh, dear.
Then you might like the druid. In 4.
Did they give that stuff back to the druid?
Yeah, there's a whole arc, like whole trees dedicated to like lightning and storm magics.
Nice. I want to make a fat guy in D&D, take a break from all the big buff, same things over and over again. Yeah, I thought about that, but I really like being buff.
Muscles are just really fun to draw.
They are. They're really fun to draw. That's the biggest part of it.
And it's really not that I don't. It's really not that I have anything against chubby people, or like dad bod or beer gut or anything like that. Like, there's just kind of less going on visually, and so it's kind of a little bit less fun to draw for me.
Thanks, Jared.
You're welcome.
Sarcasm. Me sarcastically being sarcastic.
Okay, how? Oh, actually, no. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this silhouette, actually. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, I think.
Look at me with my 16 abs and my 40-inch white biceps. I'm sad. My biceps are not as big as they used to be.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll never get over this, like, story where you're like talking to your friends, like, I want abs. She's like, no, you don't.
You don't.
Like, yeah, dude. No, you don't.
Everybody want abs. Nobody wants to get abs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Abs is
And I
hard.
do mean that nobody wants to get abs. Like, I have a wasting illness that makes it basically impossible for me to put on fat, and even I have a hard time getting abs. Okay.
Built like a brick. I bet Greek and Roman sculptures felt the same way about muscles. Probably. I mean, yeah, look at...
Oh, yeah.
Look at, like, Michelangelo. With his chubby dad bod. He's just like, I want to draw or sculpt sexy buff men. It's fun. It's fun to do. You don't have to have the bod to draw it.
Yeah.
It's the same
Also-
issue I have with, like, drawing women. Like, I've had people ask me, like, why do you draw women all the time? It's like, why not? It's fun. They're fun to draw. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather draw women all the time. I spent the first, like, 20 years of my life drawing only men because I was scared of being persecuted for drawing women.
Same.
Because if
It's
you
your
are...
own booby.
Yeah, you're drawing boobs. He's drawing boobs. Like, thanks. Leave me alone. Don't look at my shit. And now it's just like I'm at a point in my life where it's like I'll draw whatever the fuck I want.
Same.
So whenever, and I draw enough now that, like, when I'm drawing stuff here, I like drawing big buff dudes. It's fun. But, like, when I'm by myself, it's just like draw sexy pinup ladies because I really enjoy doing that. So I don't feel the guilt of, like, I need to draw more men because I don't draw any of them. It's like I draw enough. I draw enough of everything. I can draw whatever I want. Like, I'm good. I'm good now.
I mean, you're Catholic. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
enough guilt already.
Oh yeah, no, I have guilt in spades. In spades.
Or spoon-fed guilt from day one.
Self-flagellation.
It's actually morally great if you hate yourself for everything.
I think that's a term. I think that might be a term that only Catholics know.
Self-flagellation. No, I know it. I know it.
The flagellating
Well-
monks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you guys Google that. I'm not gonna explain it.
Or if you've watched the Da Vinci Code, you've seen it.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, you're right. In my opinion, you can draw 0 of something and you're still drawing enough and you can draw whatever you want. That's true. For general enjoyment improvement or just a different story. That's true too. That's true too.
Also, going back to the Greek and Roman sculptors, didn't they also just, like, make up muscles to make them look better?
Some of the paintings, yeah.
Sometimes. Like what Michelangelo actually put in the work and did know the anatomy for men, but nobody was allowed to, like, know how men's anatomy differed from women's anatomy. So, like, in my experience, most people who say that, or who say what you just said, what they actually mean is classical artists didn't actually know how to do women, and so they made up a lot of that anatomy, and most of that making stuff up was putting boobs and cutting the dick off of the male form and giving them long hair.
I was gonna say I thought a lot of the sculptures were just like dude bods. Dude
Oh,
bods
yeah,
with
you know,
boobs.
1,000%,
Yeah.
yes. Up until
Flagellating.
about the Romantic period. I
They
think,
said
when-
flagellating. There's probably flagellating monks too. Stop eating beans in frustration.
I have seen medieval art of it, so yes, they
Yeah,
do
I
exist.
mean, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of ancient scholars loved a good fart joke.
Oh, yeah.
So many butt trumpets. Many butt trumpets.
And chicken nights.
Chicken nights, yeah. Snail nights and
Yep.
People just having fun in the margins.
yeah, just I mean that's classic, right? Disney artists sneaking weird, inappropriate jokes into cartoons. It's the same thing.
Yep.
It's all the same. Artists just wanna have fun.
Yeah, I didn't actually get, like, the whole Mulan drag show jokes until I was, like, in college. I was like, oh, Oh,
Disney's
So
so
this-
woke now. It's like, yes, now.
Look. Disney executives are so woke now.
I love the memes of like what's the main character? Not Mulan, the main military guy.
Zhao? Yeah.
Sean or Shang.
Shang? Yeah.
He spends the whole movie just like, I don't understand why I hate this person so much, and then it's like, oh, thank God. And like I remember that being like, there was this huge controversy between like just people I knew about like, wait, is Zhang like super hot for Mulan as a dude? Wouldn't he be bummed when he found out that Mulan was a lady? Maybe that's why he was so bummed.
Maybe. This is such a betrayal.
So funny.
I thought
We
you
were
were
bros.
Yeah. How dare you? So funny. But instead, like, that was the thing. They're like, oh no, he secretly knew. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think he secretly knew. Animator's voice me arrives. So many butt trumpets. Yep, there you go. Welcome in.
I will say though that like except for the fact that Zhao was like the only son of an important military leader, and so therefore had the responsibility to bear sons for his family so that they could continue. Like except for that situation, homosexuality was not stigmatized in ancient Far East the way it is, and has been in Western culture.
Oh
So,
yeah, but like, just sneaking that little bit of tongue in cheek in there,
yeah.
I think is great. Like, it's so funny.
I agree.
Because like that's something that a lot of people I don't think would even think about or realize unless it was, like I said, like people being worried about being woke and like trying to see the like, oh, indoctrinate. It's like, no, like this is all normal shit that just a lot of people wouldn't have gotten.
Yeah.
Because it's just not part of their lexicon at the time.
Just because it's not an experience you have had does not mean it's particularly woke or abnormal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just disappointing that they cut that bit of comedy out of the live action remake.
Oh, I totally forgot that they made that.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
Was it? That's too bad.
Yeah.
Some things just work better in cartoon medium.
Yeah, stop trying to make remakes.
Yeah.
But it's cheap and we don't have to pay people.
And we don't have to rewrite everything.
How dare you make me realize I was bisexual all along? Polyamory for the win. Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you though, like just be careful with that bisexual identity. Before you know it, it kind of skews towards pan.
I've had very long conversations with some of my poly friends about that. And it's just like, man, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't care. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't. And so I think that goes back to the whole like, there is not a lot of representation of that out there, especially not there's no real good representation of it out there. And so it's like, I'm really glad you're excited and like want to share it with me, but like it's not for everybody, and that's fine. And so it doesn't have to be a contentious thing. Like people telling you about how they're bi or poly or whatever, it's like it doesn't mean they're trying to convince you to join them. They just they're excited about it, and that's totally chill. But people all of a sudden discovering that stuff about themselves and then being really excited about it can sometimes feel like they're trying to sell you on something. It's like, no.
Yeah, I mean that is fair.
So there's definitely that's been my experience with it. It's just like people being very overly excited about that stuff. It's like, all right.
Like I've learned more about myself.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go out with. No, that's not what this is about. I'm not attracted to you. This is not a confession. I'm telling you that I feel more comfortable in my skin because I understand this about myself now.
And then they get offended.
Yeah. I still totally remember my like when I was younger. I think I was like maybe I was 19. The first time I met somebody that was openly gay and like had a conversation with them about it, and I was uncomfortable because I'd grown up super Catholic, and I was just like, oh, it's weird, isn't it? And they're like, not really. And the thing that it came down to is like, well, I'm just worried you're gonna start like flirting with me and hitting on me, and they just like grabbed me and like got really close to me, and I'm like, oh, and I got really uncomfortable, and they were like, you're not my type, and I was like, oh, that's how that works. And like that was the biggest eye-opening thing for me. I was just like, but like that also builds into the whole toxic, like just the toxic mentality that I had growing up that was everywhere, was that like you can't have friends with women because you're trying to date them all. And like and that took a long time for me to deprogram that from my brain. And I've almost always gotten along better with women. And so I'm sure I could have had a lot of really meaningful relationships that I just like, I wasn't mature enough to handle and try to actually be relationships. I mean, like friendships, because I was so fixated on trying to make them romantic relationships. So
that's very sad.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, regrets.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I got to bed too late. No, I can't sleep because of regrets. Sorry, that's a really old college humor joke. I can't sleep because my bones hurt and regrets.
Hashtag life.
Yeah. I die on this hill. Uh-oh, burning. Let's see what he said. Bi and pan are basically the same thing, defined only by the individual, and any sort of fight between them is silly, I assume is what you said.
No, that is 100%. That is 100% true. And I as a openly bisexual man have never met a poly or pan person who didn't acknowledge that like there's basically no distinct line between the two, or between all of our groups, right? It does become very, very kind of individual, but like...
When I have to explain to people that polyamory and polysexual are separate things. Yeah, I can see those. There's a crossover, but they're independent. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember a while back when I was informed my closet guy friend I was bisexual, he got the same weird expression I told him it wasn't my type. Fast forward to a week later, I got hurt that he wasn't. He got hurt that he wasn't. Oh, I can see that being what do you mean I'm not sexy? You're my best friend. You should think I'm very sexy. I could see that being offensive.
Yeah.
Or like, not offensive, but like being hurt by that. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your folly. I hope you are still friends with that person and they can move forward. As that he grew to become my type. We dated, solid relationship. Oh, well, there you go. We split on good grounds. Nice.
Hey, happy topics now.
Yeah. He found out straight up gay and didn't know. Yeah, that's good. People grow. People learn. It's always good.
I'm
glad it was a good experience. It is looking pretty cool. I do like that dread.
Thanks. Like I said, I got pretty excited when the silhouette kind of fell into place.
Nice.
I think she's gonna be real cool. I also don't think I'm gonna have time to color this one, which I'm kind of bummed about because while I wasn't intending to do color on very many things today, this is one that I feel like I could get invested in coloring.
We could do an on-stream workout. I can start doing some lifting weights, and we can just keep drawing for another hour if you want. We can do more.
I've got other stuff I've got to get done today too,
right.
Including figuring out whether or not we're going to play tomorrow.
That is a good question. Burning's around. Jump rope's around. Are we playing Pathfinder tomorrow? I need to. I have not heard back from the people that we were supposed to hang out with tomorrow. So if anything, our morning should be free.
Dagon is not here. I talked to him last night and kind of insinuated that we would be doing something tomorrow. As I kind of thought about it a little bit when I went to the bathroom earlier, and I might not want to play tomorrow. I might want to like discuss with the group how we want to change the game when we get high levels, when we get above level 10.
I'm fine with that. I joined a little late. What did we have here? We have a lightning wizard magus and a moth thrycreen evil character. I don't remember what else it was.
Druid in a black dress.
Yeah.
And I've decided it's going to be a very slinky black dress, and I'm kind of pulling a little bit from the villainous ink from Batman Beyond.
Nice. Other than that, we've just been talking about weird shit all day.
Yeah.
Like, literally all day. We've gone from politics, which we normally don't talk about, to like gun control, to sexual orientation.
Everything in between.
Everything in between. It's all those gay guns trying to take over the world.
The woke left would be way more accepting if guns were gay.
Yeah, that might have been the meme I was trying to think of.
Oh dear.
Turning the freaking frogs gay. Have you heard that remix?
Yes!
It's so good.
It doesn't seem like it was a real remix. I feel like that would have been just part of his show.
Right? Maybe he made it himself. He's like, hey, wait, that sounded really good. Let's get going. Oh, man. I laugh about it, but like, growing up in Idaho is not a happy place. All right, a scarred
of course, it's just potatoes.
Scarred old Mongolian Goliath beast barbarian ancient paladin. Oof, that was a sentence. That is ex-bloodthirsty were-polar bear? Is an ex-bloodthirsty were-polar bear. Does that mean they used to be a were-polar bear, or they used to be bloodthirsty?
I think ex-were-polar bear.
Mongolian Goliath were-polar bear.
Ancient
Paladin.
Yes, both of ancients. I'm assuming is what they're meaning.
Cool. Okay. I think I got it. I got this. I just saw that with Brian. But I'm everybody's type. Yeah. What was the other one? I once asked one of my coworkers, I'm like, all right, give me the spill. Like, I want all of the dirty dish. What do people say about me when I'm not here? And she just looked at me. She said, we don't really think or talk about you when you're not here. And I was like, nice. So like, sometimes it's good to get your ego smacked out of the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're turning the guns frogs. They're turning the freaking guns frogs. I love it. All right.
I'll be okay with that.
Bwah, bwah, bwah.
Just don't give the frogs guns.
Yeah, no, that bad idea. We will lose that fight. Unless it gets too hot. In which case we just win automatically.
Yeah.
What's up, nerds? How's everyone? Nord doing pretty good. Gotta draw a were-polar bear. Do we still want red? We've been red all day.
Well, we can't change
by
it.
a long shot. Yeah, we need more people. Gotta get your friends in here. Change the color of the pen.
Oh, my friends are already here. It's you two.
Everybody I know is in the room. I do that all the time. Like, I'll go visit my parents or something, and then my phone will ring, and I'm like, who? Who is calling me? Everybody I know is in this room right now. I'm so confused.
We're calling to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Yep. Carefully hides Glock wielding genetically modified bullfrog. It's just scared about all the Gloctopuses.
If you give the frogs Glocks, then we also have to arm the crows.
Oh man, that would be our downfall.
Yeah. I mean, like, think of how stupid emus are, and humans lost a war to them twice. So, like, if we armed the ravens, we'd be just...
That was a war of attrition, though.
We still lost it.
I don't know how I'm gonna make a polar bear look Mongolian. Like, I'm trying to think of
You mean a
any.
Goliath?
Well, I'm drawing it as a polar bear.
Oh, okay. Well, I threw some armor. Or
Oh,
I
did
thought
you?
it.
I didn't see it. Where'd that go? Did you post it in the wrong chat?
No, they posted it as a weird image that I can't share.
Okay. I have a question for the
I was
group. If you're interested in character creation, how do you start? I tend to find image art, and the characters then get started from that. That's interesting. Yeah, I usually go based around a feat. Like, I'll find a feat or an ability that I really, really like and be like, ooh, what could I do with that? And then, like, the race and class are kind of tertiary in my mind. Unless it's something specific, like when I was playing Finny, I wanted something that fit with, like, a adventuring alchemist, and that's when I found the elves. Elves had a cool backstory for that, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But, like, a lot of my characters, that's probably why I play human the most, because it's just like, it gives me more flexibility, and I don't really care what they look like, because I'm gonna cover them with a mask anyways.
I kind of take a similar approach, but I also I think I look at spells more than feats.
Spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. If you
I
can make like a thematically based caster, I like that.
Yeah.
Throw a wizard.
I don't look at feats as much in 5e because I don't use feats as much in 5e. If I'm going to use feats as inspiration, that usually works better for me in Pathfinder.
I use good old pen and paper for my character sheets, and I use flashcards to write my spells on. They're perfect size. That's a good way to do it. Try not to look at feats. Interesting. I'm the only feat boy, apparently. Put it on the internet. I support the right to keep and harm bears. That's good. Ooh, I like those shoulder pads. Okay, thank you. That's cool. I like the feather too. Keep the feather.
There's just a lot of bad, like, tin foil. I'm like, nope. Just looking armor is like, nope.
Start with what I want to achieve mechanically and build a character around that. Yeah, that's closer to what I do. I just go, I want to do fun accent. Who fits the accent?
Yeah.
That makes sense for animator's voice. I'm opposed to accents for my characters most of the time. We've talked about this.
I've only managed to maintain a voice for a couple of characters. And like the only two that are really notable that I actually enjoyed playing their voices, like one is a goblin, and that's super easy because like it's long yeah, exactly. Long story short, it's easier and less awkward to do a goofy voice. I don't know why, but it is. But if you try to do a serious voice, it gets real, like, painfully awkward for me. Not even just if I'm trying to do it, like if somebody else at the table is trying to do it. And I'm not sure if, like, that's holdover from, like, me mentally being influenced by by you saying you also, like, do a painful double take when somebody at the table does a voice, Rook, or if that's my own thing, but I also suffer from it, at least. Anyway,
I can't hold it back. I feel so bad because I've had people do voices and I like recoil from them. It's like, I'm so sorry. Do what you're gonna do. Do what you're gonna do.
I don't have it that bad, but I do. I just cringe on the inside. Yeah. The other character, it wasn't a goofy character, but they they had a really raspy voice because their larynx had been destroyed.
Idea for a character, a paladin whose armor is literally just full of forged tinfoil. The tinfoil paladin. I could see that happening. Take a character's plastic wallet and swap them with stuff. Here's my spell card. That's how I got my yellow jacket Thri-Kreen rogue bodyguard with a shield whip and dual light crossbows. That sounds a little OP. I like it.
There's a wasp armor in 2nd edition.
Bees.
Yeah. It's a magic armor that you activate if someone like attacks you, you get stung.
Isn't there there's also like a Cloak of Bees. I don't know if that's a spell or an item, but it lets you fly.
For first edition, it's called Cape of Wasps, and
Cape
it's
of
a
Wasps,
spell.
that's right.
Yeah. And I love it. I don't think it's in second edition, but I might be wrong. I haven't seen it on the Druid spell list, and if it's not there, it's not going to be anywhere.
Just described how my character spoke instead of doing the voice myself. I had to do that in the I was trying to read and I was trying to talk in my noir voice, which is a little more upbeat, but I couldn't do both because I was trying to read a whole paragraph, which was like horribly jumbled by the autocorrect, and then and do the voice, and I just had to stop, and I'm like, this is what I'm trying to say, but I say it in a creepy, dying way. Kevin the Necromancer's like, okay, yep, gotcha. I was like, good. So sorry. I broke the fourth wall there. But I'm totally fine with that. I think Cloak of Flies is a warlock invocation. Nice. Victor, welcome in, by the way. We have another Poppet who will be joining this weekend, who is also a barbarian. Well, more accurately, a bee-barian, as his Poppet's full of bees. That's pretty great. Tried to make a bard without taking a single level in bard. That sounds like a fun challenge. I could do that. Clockwork Sorcerer, Trickery Domain, Genie, Warlock. Full Bugs Bunny accent. That could be funny. Harangon Harlequin pattern. I like it. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire, Harry? Dumbledore says calmly. Yeah. Harry Potter! Nearly dead Dumbledore. Yeah, that's funny. Would a tinfoil knight get a bonus against alien influences? Yeah, I think you could do that. Basically, like, your armor gets negatives to the AC, but you have, like, bonuses against mind-altering spells. You get, yeah. Illusions, deceptions, and maybe you get the superstitious feat for free.
Yep. Oh, immediately suspicious of any lizard person.
Yeah, bonuses on detecting lizard people being stealthed or disguised.
What's
The
wrong
wasp
with
guard.
lizard people?
I know. They're in league with the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Which Pathfinder does have basically the Illuminati.
I would totally play the character and bring a sheet of tinfoil to the game. Every time it moves, it crinkles. I did that in one of my videos. I had to make a crinkly noise. I don't remember why. But I was filming that video when we had people at the house, and I was like, I need this sound, so I had to sneak into my bedroom, and like I was just recording myself crinkling tinfoil for like 10 minutes. And then I forgot about it. And so Jump Rope walks up to me and is like, why is there a giant roll of tinfoil in the bedroom? I was like, reasons.
Holy.
The bane of Dragonkin. Tinfoil Paladin. Advantage on recalling aberration information. That's good too. We've done it. We've created a whole new class. Can't be disarmed. No. Refuses to be disarmed. You won't take my sword from my cold dead hands.
I just now pictured all this just slapped onto the Oath of Watchers.
Yeah.
Paladin.
I like it.
No.
Is my friend a sociopath or a content creator?
Yes.
Oh, the crop circle. That's pretty good.
I now need to look through my Dark Archive book to see if there's anything about crop circles.
Those damn changelings always leaving their crop circles and stuff. Rectal probes.
Always killing our cows.
Killing the cows.
I remember my childhood, like almost like a fever dream, watching Animal Planet videos about the cow stuff and chupacabras. I was like,
oh boy, there was Maybe I can't talk about it without the government yelling at me. Northern Idaho farms. There's lots of weird shit that happens, and I remember finding a flat cow, and it's just like, you know what? We're just not going to talk about it. There's probably an explanation. We're just not going to talk about it. It's going to be fine.
Probably a totally rational one too, but
yeah,
still freaky.
Still freaky if you're not expecting to find something like that. Sounds like a good druid subclass to you. Circle of crops.
Get plant growth as a
At will.
or yeah, as a once per day spell like ability class feature.
I'd like to druid craft a crop circle. Go for it.
I would allow it.
I think my favorite alien story is where this guy tried to say that aliens repeatedly probed him and his cousin in a field, forced them to be in a consenting gay relationship. Right, the aliens, yes.
Oh.
They told me to put all my money into Bitcoin. I desperately want to have a drummer's boa? Drummerlets? I don't know what that is.
I can't really see it because there's a heart emote like right in front of it. So,
any of you ever consider owning a pet reptile? I had a lizard once.
I've considered it and generally decided against it. I like reptiles just fine, generally, like snakes or anything. I don't particularly care for the smell that usually comes with a reptile cage.
I don't do reptiles well.
I have a horror story, if you guys want a horror story.
Sure.
So I had a little tiny. I caught this lizard. It was like living in my garden. So I caught it, got a cage for it, and I would go buy crickets and feed it crickets. And I had this pair of like bamboo tongs that I would pick up the crickets and put it in the lizard cage. Mm-hmm. And I was doing that one weeknight, and I was like just taking my time and like slowly feeding it the crickets. And then I got like way too involved in whatever I was watching. And then all of a sudden I noticed that I was chewing on the tongs that I had been putting crickets in. And like, I didn't eat a cricket or anything, but I had that moment of just like intense panic of like, oh my God. I just freaked out. Don't lick your cricket tongs. That's all I'm saying. No, probably not the best thing. I didn't die. Hopefully, I mean, like, who knows?
People eat crickets all the time.
Yeah, but
that reminds me of the time I almost ate a slug.
Yeah.
Don't lick your cricket tongue sounds like a euphemism, and it also sounds like it needs to be in the Reddit. Rook out of context.
Today I learned Rook eats crickets. Yep. When keeping reptiles.
Oh my God.
I just combined keeping and reptiles in one word. That's great. If you can smell the enclosure, you haven't been cleaning it enough. There you go.
Well, then no pet store cleans it enough, and neither has any person I know who has ever owned a reptile.
That's probably the case. I mean, it's the same thing with me, like, in the cat boxes. I try to clean the cat boxes every other day. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes it smells like cat litter. It's like, dang it.
Yeah.
I should be better at this.
That's fair. I do have a very sensitive nose.
Lizard folk barbarian gang, the reptiles.
They're all owed.
It's just his old lizards. Rook Risen, get some holy water. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Definitely drawing it into the stream.
Yeah, we're hitting it. We're hitting our stride here, I think.
That's okay. I'm almost done with this.
That's good. I think I'm pretty happy with this. It's, polar bear.
So food.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some deep fried zucchini this weekend. Turns out I can keep that pretty healthy if I pan fry it in olive oil. Don't
Yeah.
add salt. Ooh boy.
Less, yeah.
Good for your heart.
Good for your heart.
So far I've discovered that like lowering my salt intake has just been good for everything. Like my kidneys feel better, my liver feels better, my blood pressure is way down. Yeah. I was talking to my doctor about that because I'm on a new medication, and I'm like, yes, my blood pressure is finally under control. And he's like, well, the medication you're on doesn't change that. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's not what that's for. I was like, the fuck have I been doing then? He's like, I don't know. Like, your diet seems to be good though. You should keep doing that. And I was like, okay, neat. He's like, yeah, the medication I gave you will only lower your blood pressure like 5 points, and your blood pressure stopped like 20. So it's like, huh. So yeah, who knew?
Yeah, salt and hypertension, not good.
Not good. I love some zucchini. Yeah, it was something my dad used to make all the time, was deep fried zucchini. And I remember when I was really little, I hated it. And then I tried it again when I was older, and I was like, this is really good. So now I make it every now and again.
I like zucchini bread.
Yeah, zucchini bread's good.
I unfortunately cannot eat any squash without a fair amount of salt.
Ooh.
But my body needs salt, and does not need potassium. So, as you said, we are opposite kidney bros.
Yep. If you ever get into some road rage, do the thumbs down instead of the middle finger. People get far more annoyed.
You just
The disappointment makes them more offended.
Yep.
I remember way back in the day, somebody did like the New York. I think it's the sign language for "fuck you," if I remember right. Did that to one of my uncles, and he's just like, "I don't know what that means." And he just starts like screaming at this guy because he didn't understand what was happening. And I just thought that was the funniest thing because all of us were like, "Wait, what? What's happening?"
I know in the UK it's like flipping the V.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bull's horns.
What? No, that's something different.
Is it? Never mind.
Like bunny ears, but with the hand, like the back of the hand towards the person.
Hang loose. Curses.
Salt intensify.
Turns out I'm a fey creature. I can't deal with salt.
Do you need lots of iron or no iron?
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just I have too much iron in my blood, and the salt just tips the scales. British V is
cold
a
iron.
ha. You didn't catch me and cut off my fingers, right?
I mean, Oliver should be able to answer this.
What's that?
I said Oliver should be able to answer that.
Oh, Oliver's the one that said it. Yeah. Oh no, Animator's the one that said it. Jeebus.
Yeah. Because the story I heard relates to like English longbowmen that would flip the V at French knights. It's like, haha, we can take you down with just 2 fingers.
Yeah, archery was cowardism because it was really powerful. Come down and fight me like a man. No, I'm good.
Yep.
How dare you use technology to kill me in a way in which I cannot.
I am privileged and have a tank around my body. I want to fight you. Not allowed to use potions. That's my favorite. My favorite WoW quote. Not allowed to use potions in PvP. It's like, fuck you, I'm an alchemist. I'm doing what I want.
Oh no, I was just
Yeah, you're
making
right.
a joke about not Bra, but Rick being maybe a Fae due to iron.
Yep.
Not necessarily salt.
I knew about the iron. Fae are affected by salt. Maybe the salt is more of a demon thing. I don't know. Can you catch Fae? What was it? So there's salt circles. That's one thing.
Yep.
Salt is like for purity, so maybe it is more demonic. But then
yeah, undead stuff for
undead
sure.
is salt. Yeah, I think iron is just for Fae. You're right. But I also thought about that. I think if you throw
Well, yeah,
if you throw salt on the ground, don't they have to count it? Is that what it was?
It's for vampires. If you throw coins on the ground, then they have to stop and count them. But
Depending on the
there
sort of
is
foe, they
there
are
is
good.
there is the superstition where if you spill salt, you have to toss some over your left shoulder, to cast the bad luck demon away.
Okay.
So there is some precedence in superstition for salt being versus both undead and demonic things.
Cold iron and salt affect fairies, ghosts, demons, and more according to Irish folklore. Okay, so there's
And Billy and Mandy taught me that the bad luck demon takes the form of a snail, but it crawls up your shoulder.
It just hangs out. That makes sense. What's up, Skip Cat? Good time?
I just feel so offended because it's always the left side. It's like, we didn't do anything wrong.
Worried about you, Skip Cat. No. Okay. I think we've gone more than far enough today. Can't even focus to finish this armor.
Lunar Mothwing eye spots look like Pokeballs.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. And thanks for letting me rant about guns and stuff. So sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Is it a Chinese thing that if vampires saw a sacrifice, they would have to count every grain? I mean, there's... Corvus said coins. I thought salt. I think I've also heard rice. So I assume that's just like, that's part of the folklore. About...
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be any specific thing. I think that it is literally just you toss a bunch of small stuff on the ground and they are forced.
Elmer Fudd had to do that in one cartoon.
Impulsively. Yeah.
There's another thing. So in
Might have been a vampire at the time.
Black Appalachian folklore, there's a thing called a boo hag.
Okay.
And if you hang a broom over your doorway, the boo hag can't enter until she counts every bristle on the broom. And so generally by that time, when she gets done, it's like sunrise and they dissipate.
Interesting.
I think the counting of many objects is, I think, cross-cultural for a couple different things. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was part of it. Awesome drawings. Thanks for the streams. Yeah, no problem. We got down to 12. But I'm going to get rid of those. So if you didn't get your stuff drawn today, I do apologize. I will post a new link on Monday in the community tab, and as well as I'll probably put up another short. I think those are fun. I'm not sure if I want to do like jokes, because right now it's just Rugby being bad at the camera. So,
which I thought was funny, but you can't really do long term, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with that. I also really want to do more short content, and I'm not sure what to do per se, because I had a few ideas of like doing quick 60-second campaign ideas, just like one-shot ideas, but I don't know what to do for the short. If I need to like print out a whole bunch of little stickers to animate that, or if I want to do it just me talking with the puppets again. So if people have thoughts, let me know, and just maybe in the comments of the shorts as I make them, tell me things you like or don't like about them. Just because that would be good. I want to see visual descriptions of my. I want to see a visual depiction of my sketchy Earth in Paladin, so I'm going to put it against next community page. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's what it's for. Don't sit on the keypad. Skip Cat, you got to chill out. It's 3 o'clock. You will be fed. I promise. I'm gonna break stuff. Let's see if anybody cheap us, Cat. Really?
I heard that one.
Yeah.
See if anybody else is hanging around. Don't
pull yourself together.
Sneezing on my keyboard now. Nope. No one's around. Okay. Thanks for hanging out today. Post it next week. Go put a comment on your favorite Why you should play video. Let's see if we can get those amped up again. That'd be really cool if one of my old ones like hit 1 million.
Took off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. I need to find a way to get people to do that.
Let's get Rook a play button.
Yeah. Only 90,900 to go. Good catching stream. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for hanging out. That's it. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. These will all be on the Discord here in probably the next 5 minutes, so you can use them for your home games. And Druid and Corvus, thanks for hanging out again today. We'll catch y'all later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Meh.